Worry not, because, thank you, you'll be having this video uploaded in my YouTube channel so that you can be able to use it for reference, for future reference if need be. So you've got my rights, you've got my permission, you can carry on with the recording, all right? Thank you. Now, having known who I am and what I do for a living, yes, I invited you here today for course and university selection. But maybe before we dive into that, I want to quote from one of the greatest lawyers of all times, one that we envy, Mahatma Gandhi, who said that the future depends on what we do in the present. To rephrase that, you're using better terms. What that means is that what we are doing today, what you are doing today as your student, that is what will determine how your tomorrow will be like. All right, that's what that statement simply means, that the future simply depends on what we do today, meaning that every action that you undertake today, it's determining how your future will be like, meaning that what you are using or how you are using your every second, your every minute, your every hour, your every day today, it's already determining how your tomorrow will be like. So my dear students, as we start this, I want you to take note of this, that this is your future that you are putting into place. This is your future that you are modeling. This is your future that you are preparing, all right? When you not be under your parents' house, when you not be under the guidance of your guardians, when you not be under the guidance of your teachers, when you not be having people who are controlling what you are doing, your everyday activity, you are preparing for that future when you'll be thinking that your freedom has really come. I know this is the time that the Form 4s, the Form 4s in the house, the candidates of 2021, and also the candidates of 2022 in the building, who are saying that freedom is coming. That's the time you are shouting and singing loud, saying that freedom is coming, and you are really happy, you are really enjoying this, that freedom is coming. But I want to ask you, are you sure that you are ready for this freedom? Are you sure you are ready for this freedom? Allow me again to give you an analogy of what you can see on the screen. Majority of the people that I interact with, most of the students, they always aspire to drive a vehicle of their own. I'm sure if I give you the opportunity also to ask, I asked you, what type of a machine or what type of a vehicle would you like to drive? Majority of us will mention the big machines. Some of us will tell me they want to drive a Range Rover. Others want to drive a Mercedes Benz. Others want to drive, a Prado. Others want to drive CG, Rolls Royce. All those even machines with big names that some of us are not able to mention. You always aspire to drive that machine. And I want us to take a very simple time and do a very simple activity, all right? Imagine yourself walking into a showroom. Okay, showroom where vehicles are sold. I want you to do that very basic activity. Imagine yourself, okay, in your thoughts. You are walking into the showroom, okay? You've got all the money that you need to buy that vehicle of your choice, all right? See yourself walking to that showroom, okay? See yourself paying for that vehicle, okay? And you've got everything now. You've got the paperwork. You have got the keys now to go and start driving that machine. I want you to assume and see yourself seated on the driver's seat behind the steering wheel, driving out of the showroom, getting into the streets. Could it be the streets of Mombasa? Could it be the streets of Nairobi? Could it be the streets of Nakuru, the streets of Kisumu, the streets of Bungoma, or the streets of that town where you are, right? See yourself just like the driver on the screen with a little bit of pride, I mean. See yourself driving on those streets at a very high speed, maybe, to others at a very low speed. To others, they are a little bit shaking because maybe it's their first time on the road. To others, you don't care. You are moving at a very high speed, at a speed of maybe 180 kilometers per hour, maybe, okay? See yourself in that vehicle. See yourself driving that machine. See yourself controlling the vehicle, controlling the big machine using the steering wheel. See yourself, okay, turning to the right. See yourself turning to the left, okay? See yourself slowing down for you to go over the bumps. See yourself speeding, moving at a very high speed. I'm sure it's something that you are really enjoying, right? Okay, I'm sure you're able to enjoy this, that you are in that machine, you are in that vehicle, you are controlling it, moving at a very high speed. You can see even yourself waving at your friends through the window. In other words, you are enjoying. I hope you're able to see this. My dear students, now more girls, very much welcome. My dear students, that vehicle that you are driving with a lot of pride, that vehicle that you are really speeding, that vehicle that you are moving slow, I mean you are driving slowly, that vehicle that you are controlling to the right or to the left, that vehicle is your life. That vehicle that you just bought is what I want you to take as your life. You know, you are behind the steering wheel. You are the one determining at what speed you are going to move at. You are the one moving, determining at what point are you going to slow. You are the one determining to what direction are you going to move. You are the one taking control of that machine. All right? And for that reason, as we start off this word of session, my dear students, I want you to take note of this, that my life is my responsibility. My life is my responsibility. There's something that I want you to have in your mind even as we go through this session. And from today henceforth, if you have not been having it, that this is your life and it is you who is responsible of it. That this is your life and it is you who is directing. This is your life and it is you that you are the producer. In other words, I say that you are both the director and the producer of this show, and this show is your life. And this is why I want you to start off. This is why I want to start off by telling you this and reminding this and having this with you, that my life is my responsibility. The same way you are driving that machine at a high speed, the same way you are driving that vehicle at a lower speed, the same way you are taking full control of that machine, that big Prado, that Range Rover, that Mercedes-Benz, is the same way I want you to take charge of your life. The same way I want you to take full responsibility of your life. As you prepare for your KCSE, I want you to remember this, that it is not for your parents that you are doing this. It is not for your guardians that you are doing this. It is for your own good. It's because it's your life. Hello, I hope somebody can hear me and hear me good. That this is my life. And that's why I say that my life is my responsibility. And with that in mind now, having taken note of that, this is my life, this is my responsibility, and that what I'm doing today is my tomorrow that I'm building, it's my tomorrow that I'm making good. I want to start by asking you these two basic questions. I hope that you don't answer this question loudly, but you just answer the question to yourself. I want to ask you this question. Number one, do you have a career? As you sit there listening to a roast Ben, as you sit there admiring the screen, as you sit there looking into what is being displayed on the screen, do you have a career? Well, I know to some of us, they have a yes, and to others, they don't have a yes. To others, they even don't know what a career is. Worry not, I hope by the end of this session, I'll be having you as one. And the second question that I want to ask you, then what next after KCSE? Yes, to some, I visited a school sometimes last week and I found them. When I told them, let us sing that song that was sung during the freedom times in South Africa, that freedom is coming tomorrow, they really sang the song, and afterward I asked them, why are you singing the song? And they told me, you know what, Mwalimu, that at the end of the next 2 months, we shall be free elements. We shall not be within the schools. We shall not be students. So, and I asked them this question, what next after KCSE? Narumor girls, Magarini girls, Lamu girls, Mkwene girls, as you all listen to me, what plans do you have after KCSE? I want to ask you this basic question, and I want you to really think about this question. I want you to think about this question. Next year, such a time, the next year, 2022, this is for the candidates of 2021, and also for the candidates of 2022 who are in the house. Next year, such a time, where will you be? Have you thought of and asked yourself where you will be? Well, I know to some of us, they have answers, and others, they don't have answers. But regardless of the answers that you have, whether you have a career or don't have a career, whether you know where you'll head to after KCSE or where you'll not be headed to, The next thing that I want to share with you is to understand what a career is. Well, I don't know your answers to this, but allow me to share this with you. What is a career? That's the first question that I want to answer. Well, I'm not a teacher of English, but from the little knowledge that I have, I know that a career is a journey in a field of interest, leading to expertise in an area. That is becoming a professional in a selected area. Hello, student. I want you to take note of this. Magarini, Lamu, and all other students in the house. I want you to take of this, that a career is a journey of learning. It is a journey of learning. Please underline that. On top of that, in a field of interest. That it is not just any other area that you are going to start learning in. It's not any other area that you are going to acquire studies in. It is in an area of interest. And finally, you'll become a professional in that area. I hope that definition is very, very clear. I want to give you examples of a career. For example, a teacher. I know some of us have the teachers in there, wherever you are. A teacher, that's a career. A nurse, a DJ, a musician, a journalist, an architect, a clinical officer, a news reporter. These are careers. These are careers. You know what I mean? And I want, again, to differentiate a career from a job, because majority of us think that when you talk of a career, you are talking of a job. No, my dear students, take this big difference here, that when you talk of a career, we've said it's an area, it's a journey of learning. It's something that you keep on learning in a field of interest. What is a job? A job, it is any activity that you take or you undertake for you to be paid. It is not necessarily out of interest. It is not necessarily out of passion. It is not necessarily because you are an expert in that area, but it is anything that you can do. Anything that you can do and you get paid for, that's a job. That's a job. And this word of warning, my dear students, I want to call upon each one of you. Take the difference between a career and a job. What I want you to have is not a job. What I want you to have is a career. What I want you to establish by the end of this session is a career. It is not a job. You know why? Because a job is short-lived. A job is short-lived, but a career is everlasting. A teacher will never change to be a doctor. A teacher will live to be a teacher. Even if he or she acquired other skills to become a doctor or to become an entrepreneur or to become maybe a counselor, he is still a teacher. She is still a teacher. That is something that you'll die with. But when you take a job, it is something that you can change. Today, you can be an IT technician because you have some little knowledge on IT. But later on, you can change and maybe become a car wash attendant. Sorry to give such an example. It is something that you can change. Tomorrow you become an electrician, a technician or electrical technician, because it is not something that you have formal skills. It is not an area that you have expertise in. That's what we mean by a job. But when you talk of a career, it is something that you are going to acquire skills. And that's why we are saying that it is a journey of learning. It's something that you are going to acquire formal skills. And the moment you acquire those formal skills, then you become an expert in that area. Hello, I trust that you're able to get this. So I don't want you to think of a job. I want you to think of a career. Don't think of a job, think of a career. So those of us who sit and say, boka ni boka, allow me to use that language. You know what I mean? When we say that boka ni boka, I hope mnaelewa hiyo lugha, sivyo? Wakati unasema boka ni boka, all what you are saying is that a job is a job, anything that can earn you money. But that should not be the spirit. The spirit should be that I am going for a certain career. You know, if you want to be like I, you want to be a counselor, not only a counselor, a career counselor like I. Even if I change today, and I maybe change the area from becoming a career counselor to something else, Okay, the fact remains that professionally, I'm a career counselor. That's my career. I hope now you're able to distinguish between a job and a career. If we had time, we could have differentiated other terms that students do confuse, but these two are the major confusion that students do have. Now, having understood what a career is and having been able to distinguish a job from a career, again, I want to take you back to the old days when you were young. I know some of us are not very old. Okay, I know some of us are not very old, but allow me, everyone has his or her old age. Is it true? I want you to take you back to the days when you are a young one, more so when you are in primary school, more so in standard 1, right? And also in nursery, standard 1, standard 2, those early age or those early times. There's a basic question that you are asked by your teachers, by friends, by relatives then. And this question is the same question that I want to ask you. What would you like to be when you grow up? What would you like to be when you grow up? You know, some of us, they have already grown up right now, right? Okay, so I want to paraphrase that question, and instead of asking you what you would like to be when you grow up, I want you to ask yourself this simple question. All right, what would I like to be after high school? What would I like to be after I graduate from high school? Now that you're in high school, and I want to remind you some of these answers that majority of us gave. You know, some of us they say that they want to be doctors. Remember yourself, the very little one saying that you want to be an astronomer, you want to be an astronaut. There you are. Okay, others said, I want to be an engineer. Remember these answers? Some of us said even big names that they didn't know the pronunciation or even the writings, the spelling. They say that I want to be an oceanologist. Look at you. You said that you want to become a pilot. I can see some of you. I can see you. You had all these big names with you. I want to ask you this simple question here. Do you still have that big dream with you? Yes, you want to be an oceanologist, that you even don't know whatever that means anyway. That you want to become a pilot, that you want to become a nurse, you want to become a teacher. Do you still have this dream with you? Well, I don't want you to tell me yes or no, but I want just to remind you that you had a dream, that this dream could be you still have it or you don't have it. Maybe after experiencing the toughness of life, you decided to shelve off this dream. Maybe after experiencing what other things that life has for you, you decided to forget some of these dreams. Some of us, even as they sit here listening to me this word of morning, they don't have a career. They don't have a dream. They are just there saying, you know what? I am a prayerful lady. I am a prayerful man. God is the one who created me. He knows how my life will be after this. But I want to challenge you as a Christian and tell you that it's the same Bible that you read that says that it's not until you seek that you shall find. Muslim in the house, please forgive me, for I don't know the Quran. I could have quoted that. All right? But maybe because of some of us who have lost ways, because of some of us who have maybe don't have a career, in a quick way, I want to go through the process of career selection in a very quick way. All right? What is it that you should consider when you are selecting your careers? You know, is it that you should just sit and bump into a career? Is it money that should be guiding you? Is it the way people dress that should be guiding you? Let's see. What is it that should guide you when you are selecting your career? Remember, and allow me to keep on deferring, we said, in the definition of a career, we say that it's a journey of learning in the field of interest. Take note of that. Why? Because the first thing that you should consider when selecting your career is your passion and interest. Passion and interest. And I want to give you a good example because I know maybe you have experienced this. You have a friend or maybe even a relative or even maybe your parent or guardian. On a Sunday evening, you happen to remind them or they just happen to remember that tomorrow is Monday and I'm supposed to go to work. And you hear them saying, oh no, Jesus of Nazareth. You mean tomorrow is on Monday? Again, I'm going to work? Oh no. You can see the frustration. You can feel the disappointment in them because what they have, it's a job. It's not a career. Because when you talk of a job, I have just said this, and you allow me to repeat myself, that it is not something that you have passion in. It is not something that you're interested in. You are just doing it for the sake of money. Okay, but when you are selecting a career, you should be guided by passion and interest, that even without pay, even at whatever hour of the night, if you are called upon to undertake your duties, you can surely do that because you are passionate about it. You are so much interested in that. And for the sake of clarity, allow me to distinguish these two names, passion and interest. What do we mean by passion? Passion is that strong feeling of excitement for something or about doing something, that you feel that strong feeling. You really want to achieve this. You really want to go for this, you really want to do this thing. And because of that, because of that strong feeling, you are not being forced by anyone. You are not being supervised by anyone. It is out of your own feeling that this is your responsibility and you go for it. So it is not somebody who is pushing you. It is not because you are being paid. It's because it's something that you are passionate about. It's something that you are so much interested in. Let me give you a good example. Allow me to keep on putting examples. Have you ever visited a hospital, maybe to take a friend or to take a parent, or maybe it's you who are sick, and you visited a hospital and you found this doctor, are we together? Who observed you? Maybe you are in so much pain, and without even a second thought, this doctor comes or this nurse comes for your rescue. He or she comes to rescue you. He or she comes to ask you what is not wrong. She even offers you a place to sit. He even gets a wheelchair for you or for your patient because he is passionate. You have that teacher in your school, okay? Whatever come may, even if it is raining cats and rains and whatever that is raining, that teacher comes to school, to just pay or even to teach something, to even clear something that she did not complete or something he did not complete. He is so passionate that this teacher, even during the weekends, he forgets that he has got his own life and comes to you people to assist you to solve a problem, maybe in mathematics, to maybe sit for an exam. These teachers, they forfeit their life out there to come because they are passionate about it. It is not because they are being paid. It is not because at the end of the month, they go smiling to the bank to get some salary. No. It's because it's something that they are passionate about. That's how a career should be like. Should be something that you are passionate about. With or without payment, it's something that you should be going for. All right? With or without recognition, it's something that you'll do. That's what a career should be like. On the other side, what do we mean by interest? Okay? Now, when you talk of interest on the other side, it is that feeling of wanting to learn about something or someone. You are not being pushed by anyone. You have got what we call intrinsic motivation, motivation from within you. You understand what I mean? That you are pushing yourself to learn, to study about that area. I'll pull two examples for you. One for the ladies, one for the gentlemen in the house. Ladies, majority of the ladies, they love cooking. Majority of the ladies, when you tell them about cooking, they do it best. Not that they went to class and they were taught. No, they studied that by themselves. You know what I mean? Okay, you went to the kitchen, found your auntie, found your mom, found your whoever it was, and you told them, you know what, I'm interested in baking. Would you please show me how to bake? Would you please teach me how to do baking? It's out of interest. You pushed yourself. You took yourself. It is not that your parent or your teachers or anybody supervised you. No, you took yourself because you are interested in that field. For the gentlemen in the house, they do love driving. You talk of driving, any boy child, if you talk of driving, very few who are not interested. And if they get an opportunity, you fight them, even if not driving the real vehicle, even if it's a doody, even if it's a doody, you fight them going for that. You understand? That they go for that guy and they tell him, you know what, man, please teach me how to ride this thing. Please teach me how to drive this thing. You understand what I mean? Because they are interested in that field. That's what a career should be like. The career that you select, you should be passionate about that area. Number two, you should be interested in that area. Imagine being a doctor, okay? Imagine being a doctor and you rarely read. You don't keep updated on the viruses that are emerging or the bacteria that are emerging or the new diseases that are upcoming. And this patient approaches you, okay? And she or he gives you symptoms that you have never had on earth. How would your life be like? Yeah? How would your life be like? But you find that majority of the doctors, they will keep on reading. Majority of the IT experts, they will keep on reading. Majority of the teachers, they will keep on reading. They want to add more knowledge. They want to add more knowledge because this is their area. Not that they are being supervised by anyone, no, but because this is their career, they are passionate about it. They want to add more knowledge on this field. So the first thing to consider in your career, when you are selecting a career, it's passion and interest. What are you passionate about? What are you interested in? Hello, I hope that you are able to get that. The second thing that you should be able to consider when selecting your career. Somebody by the name Shiko, please mute your mic, please, with all due respect. The second factor to consider, it's your personality. Your personality. And some people call it temperament. So you may talk of it as a temperament, or you may talk of it as a personality, okay? Whatever name you give it. There are two types of personality at this level. Allow me to just discuss the two broad categories. I know we can narrow down and have more to 4, go to 16, but for now, allow me to just categorize them into these two. Number one, what we call introverts. Allow me to pull examples from your classroom. There's that one student, that one classmate of yours who never does so much. What I mean by that is that she's not so much into people. You talk of games, she's not a person of games, or he is not a person of games. He just or she just want a reserved life. She just want to do her things quietly. When you go to the laundry for cleaning, she just want to do her cleaning quietly. She is not doing much. Or maybe to put a better example, when you go back in your homes, that kind of a girl, that kind of a boy, given chores by your parents, given responsibility by your parents, you just want to undertake those responsibilities with a lot of calmness, okay? Hutaki story mingi. Allow me to use that language. Hakuna story mingi. You are told to wash a vyombo, you exactly do that. You are told to, you are sent somewhere, you just exactly want to do that. Hakuna story mingi. If you are put in a midst of strangers, you feel as if this world has nothing in your favor. It has nothing in your favor. Why? Because of your personality, because of your temperament. You are an introvert. You are reserved. You are not outgoing. You understand what I mean? On the other hand, we have what we call extroverts. We have what we call extroverts. Who are extroverts? Allow me to pull a few examples, again from your classroom. If a teacher comes and asks for a list of noisemakers in your class, you ask for a list of noisemakers from your class, this guy or this person will not even wait to be called out. She or he will start up first and ask the prefect, the class monitor, please confirm that I'm not in that list. Because she knows that definitely I'm in that list. Very talkative. You understand what I mean? This person, put him or her in midst of strangers. In the first 5 minutes, this person has got friends. Total strangers. In the first 5 minutes, this person has friends. Let me give you a good example. When you were admitted in Form 1, who was that first person that you got to know? your classmates. That's an extrovert. You understand what I mean? There's still somebody in that class, she or he was the very last person that you get to know. Actually, teachers come into that class and ask, are you still part of us? You know, because she's or he's just reserved. He's just an introvert. So what is your, temperament? What is your personality? Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Why should you know your personality? There are some jobs, or let me not call them jobs. There are some careers that requires or that will work best with an introvert, and others will work best with an extrovert. Putting a few examples, think of a DJ. Okay, think of a DJ. How would a DJ who is an introvert behave? Okay, I'm not saying they can't make, they can, but that career best matches the person who is an extrovert, somebody who can make friends so easily that you are going to entertain people, total strangers, and you are able to socialize with them. You are able to understand the taste of music that these people need. You are able to understand what level of energy do they need, okay, for them to be hyped and so on and so forth. All right. Think of somebody like a doctor. Okay, a quick one. What do you think the personality of a doctor should be like? An introvert, I'm sure some of us have guessed right. An introvert who is a doctor would serve best. Why? Because doctors, they are supposed to be people who concentrate, people who focus, you know, people who really focus. You come in, they listen to you. They are not quick to shout. They are not quick to speak. They are not quick to interject. You understand what I mean? They are people who will listen to you, take their time to understand what you are saying. But an extrovert, you know, remember this is somebody who is outgoing. It's somebody that you speak of an area that this person knows and you not speak any further. This person will complete everything else for you. You know, just to give the last example, an extrovert is that kind of a person. You put him or her in a quiet room. That is enough punishment for that person. You know, this person can hardly survive in a quiet place because this extrovert, somebody who is outgoing, somebody who likes, you know, music, a lot of music around, a lot of noise around him, socializing with people, not necessarily music, even socializing with people, that's an extrovert. But an introvert, put him amidst of people who are talkative and the hell will be breaking rules. Why? Because this person doesn't like so much of social. She needs or he needs to be reserved. So what is your temperament? What is your personality? Hope you understand. So when selecting your career, first thing that you should take note of is I hope you have mentioned right, your passion and your interest. The second thing, your personality. What is the third thing that you should consider? The third thing that you should consider when selecting your career is your career personality. Now notice this, that I mentioned about personality a while ago. Point 2, that is an individual personality, But here now, we are talking of career personality. And this career personality, there are 6 of them. And in a quick way, I'll go through them. There are 6 career personalities that you should put into consideration. The first one is realistic. What type of a character is this? What type of a personality is this? When you talk of realistic career personality, it normally deals with things that are practical. You know, practical things, not about theory. No, it's something practical. I want to give you a good example. When a teacher of biology comes in and tells you that, you know what, class, inside a human body, there is the heart. Okay? And the heart has how many arteries? In the same body, there is the liver. In the same body, there are so many things. You understand what I mean? And then for you to really affirm, for you to really know that this is what the teacher is talking about, you are taken to the laboratory and you dissect a rabbit. So the teacher is not speaking things that don't exist. It's things that you're able to see, something real, that you're able to be shown that this is the heart with the 4 parts. You understand what I mean? That this is the liver, that these are the arteries. You know, these are the all that. You understand what I mean? because it is real. You talk of an engineer. It's not a matter of theory. It's a matter of practice, a matter of something practical, putting things into reality. You know, so when you talk of realistic career personality, they deal with practical things. All right. Number two, the second career personality is investigative. Investigative. Now, when you talk of investigative career personality, this is a career personality that requires to keep on finding out, whether through practical means or through theoretical means. Okay, they keep on finding out. They may not see the real thing, are you together? But the outcome will prove that whatever they had suggested is true. Let me give you a good example. Again, from a school setup, think of a teacher of chemistry. A teacher of chemistry comes to class and tells you, you know what, class? When you react hydrogen and oxygen, when these two elements, are they elements? Forgive me if I don't use the correct words. But when you react these two, the hydrogen and the oxygen, you get water, maybe. Okay? How they react, you may not be able to see that, but you can be able to see the outcome. So the outcome makes you believe that truly hydrogen and oxygen combined to form water. That's an investigative career personality. You know, that it is not necessarily something practical, but even theoretical, you give room for theoretical. Whether you are able to see the real thing or the outcome of what you are talking, you've got the correct thing. Okay, you got to prove, or you have proved what your argument was. That's an investigative career personality. All right, so the first one, realistic, something practical, no theory here. The second one, investigative, you give room for practical and theoretical, put them together. You understand what I mean? Okay, so long as it's something that you're able to prove, then you are good. The third career personality is artistic. Artistic. In our midst, in classroom, there's always that one student who is good in vibes. When I talk of vibes, talk of writing music, maybe, composing music. That student is good in that. Talk of composition. This person creates a story for you. This person writes down a story for you, and you even admire it. You see the reality in the story, and it is just but a fiction. You understand? These people, you tell them, draw a roster as you see him on screen. They will give the picture of how that man is looking like. You understand what we mean? Artistic. You know, those people are very creative in minds. They are very good in creating. Could be in the line of music, could be in poetry, spoken words, could be in what we've talked about, composition, that is writing fiction stories. These people are just but good. Musicians are good examples of artistic, of being a musician is a good example of an artistic career personality. Hello, let's talk of the fourth one, what we call social. Now, social, when you talk of social career personality, people with this type of career personality are people who just like helping others. They just want to deal with people. They want to be of great help to others. They want to see other people excel. They want to see other people achieve the best out of them. A good example, generally, a good example is a teacher. Now, without distinguishing whether it's a chemistry, a biology, or physics, or whatever type of a teacher that could be, so long as you are a teacher, this is a good career personality. This is the career personality that you have, the social, because your welfare of others is your concern. The welfare, the excellence of your students is your concern. So, students, I hope you're able to tell this. Somebody's mic is on. All right. I hope you're able to understand this. Okay. So, students, that's when you look at a teacher, see the career personality we are discussing. All right. But now, when you go to specific teachers, the teacher of biology, you see the realistic career personality. When you talk of the teacher of chemistry, you see the investigative career personality. When you talk of your favorite musician, you see the artistic career personality. You understand what I mean? The fourth, the fifth career personality is enterprising. enterprising. Enterprising career personality, that type of a person who will always, when they look at you, the first thing they see, they think from the entrepreneurial point of view. Somebody's mic is on. Okay. You understand what I mean? For example, when they see a roster on the screen, already they have been able to quantify in terms of money how much he is worth. You know, from the coat that he is wearing, how much is that, the tie, the headphones, you know, the watch, everything that's in the background, how much it could be costing. You know, when they look at you, these are the kind of people, they look at you and instead of seeing you, they see the money that you are carrying in terms of maybe the clothes you are wearing, the shoe that you are wearing. They are the kind of people when you are having stories with later on, yeah, they will not tell you of what you talked about. They will tell you, did you see the coat that he was wearing? Do you know how much worth it is? Did you see the type of shoe the person was wearing? And so on and so forth. You understand what I mean? That's an enterprising career personality, and it is a good one. Then the sixth and the last one, it is what we call conventional. Now, when you talk of conventional career personality, okay, it is that kind of career personality whereby you deal with theoretics, but not only theoretics, they are somehow practical in terms of statistics. You understand what I mean? Like mathematics, when you talk of an accountant, when you talk of a statistician, when you talk of actually a scientist, okay, these people deal with maths, money, or not only money, but also maths, numbers, right, together. They may not be able, from the theoretical angle, they may not be able to tell really something about maths, but they'll do it in a practical way. But the practicality that they are putting into place is not what you can be able to see real. It is through numbers. You understand what I mean? Okay. For example, when you talk of, I like it, allow me to give this example. There is a topic in maths that students really love, the topic on trigonometry, be it trigonometry 1, 2, or 3. Right, together? If you are asked what is the trigonometry, okay, from the theoretical angle, you'll talk of the relationship of the sides of a triangle, the relationship in a right, of sides in a right angle triangle. But by where I say it, you may not be able to understand it much better. So I might be forced, or I'll be forced to use the practical bit of it. That is now bring on board numbers. Now bring the sine, the cosine, the angle theta, bring all this now, do the maths practically for you to be able to understand it further. Are you together? Now that is conventional career personality. So I repeat them so fast. Realistic, okay, deals with practical things, deals with real things. Investigative, on the other side, they like finding out things into details, you know, things into detail, find details, okay? They don't mind on the process, the outcome also matters for them. When you talk of artistic, there are people who are very creative. You understand what I mean? There are people who are very creative in mind. They can create a story for you. They can create a music for you and so on and so forth. When you talk of social, these are people who mind the welfare of others. How the while others are going like is what they might about. I mean, it's what they think are a lot. Okay. When you talk of enterprising, those are people with the entrepreneurial mind. They think of how to add a shilling to another shilling, maybe the simplest way to put it. When you talk of conventional, there are people who deals with money, maybe, or numbers. Let me not say money, allow me to use numbers instead. When you talk of conventional career personalities, it's about numbers, okay? You prove using numbers. So the third thing, as you look for your career personality, for your career, which is the best career personality that matches you? And this one, what you'll find is that there's nobody who holds one. There's no one who holds one in this case. The only thing that you find is that you have one that is dominant over the other. For example, when you talk of a teacher generally, allow me, teachers in the house, please allow me to give an example with teachers. When you talk of a teacher generally, the teacher has the social career personality. But other than being that, you could find that this teacher has the artistic career personality in him or her. So when you take the two, which is dominant, Dominant means which has a higher portion. Is it the artistic one or is it the social one? Do you understand what I mean? Okay, the one that is dominant over the other is your career personality. Just as your temperament or the personality that we just discussed, the introvert or the extrovert, you find that each one of us has a certain degree of introvert and a certain degree of extrovert, but which has a higher degree? Which one is dominating over the other? The one that is domineering is the one that you talk of is your personality. It's the same case here. When you talk of career personality, which is domineering, because everyone has the power to be creative, to create something. Everyone has the power to work with the practical things. Everyone has the powers to work with numbers, the practicability of numbers. Everyone has the power to be social, but which is dominant in you? The one that is dominant is the one that you take as your career personality. Good one. Moving to the fourth thing. I hope I'm not so fast, and I hope that I'm putting things into clarity. If you have a question, please use the chat area. Just somebody help, somebody assist. You can use the chat area, type your question. I'll find time and answer that. All right, good. What are your high school subjects? That's the fourth thing that you should put in consideration. We've talked number one, passion and interest. Number two, your personality, individual personality. Number three, your career personality. And number four, your high school subjects. The subjects that you are taking right now. You know, the subject that you are taking right now, if you are taking 7 or you are taking 8 or even 9 to some schools, regardless of the number of subjects in total, but the subjects that you are taking, okay, will also determine the type of a career that you can undertake. Why? Broadly, we categorize careers into two. In a broad way, we categorize careers into two. Number one, we have what we call the art-based careers. Art-based careers. And these are the careers that major with art subjects. What do we mean by art subject? Let me give you examples. History, CRE, music, you know, which is the other one? Maybe English and Kiswahili. Such subjects, they are art subjects. Right, together, and those art subjects, they lead you into art-based careers, or what we call the art careers. I hope I'm able to explain that clearly and you're able to get it, all right? So you have art careers. On the other hand, you have what we refer to as the STEM careers. STEM standing for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the STEM. Okay, some people you find it adding an F at the end, that is STEM, STEMF. F stands for fisheries. Okay, but fishery is a science. All right, but if you find it with an F, it's well and good. If you don't find it with an F, like I have done it, it's still okay. It means one the same thing. The STEM careers will normally major with the sciences. And I have given you examples there: mathematics, biology, physics, chemistry. Another subject that I have not put there is geography. Somebody has just stucad, eh? You just said geography? Yes, geography. When you go to the institutions of higher learning, you come to realize that geography, in a way, is a science. It is not an art. So those STEM careers, they are science-based. They major with science subjects. You understand what I mean? Mathematics, biology, physics, chemistry, geography. But all other subjects that maybe I have not mentioned, okay, they are on the side of art, excluding for those schools that are taking aviation, it is in the side of science. For those schools that are taking electrical or electricity, it is in the side of sciences. Right together, but all others could be in the side of art. So the high school subject that you are taking will determine on which line you are going to end up into, whether you are going to end up into the side of art or whether you are going to end up in the side of STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And at this point, allow me to explain to you students why you find chemistry being a compulsory subject in your institution. If in your school chemistry is compulsory, this is why. All right. Majority of courses in the university, they demand for chemistry. A student who has done chemistry as a compulsory subject, as we are going to find out, has a broader spectrum of courses to choose from unlike a student who has not done chemistry. There is no single course, and if it is there, there are very few. Well, let me not say they are not there because there are few that I can quote that will demand for physics and biology. They are just, I think, about 3. All right. Majority of the courses, many of the courses in the university will ask for physics, chemistry, or biology, chemistry. Ni nadra sana kupata a course asking for physics and biology. All right, you understand what I mean? That's why you find chemistry as a compulsory subject in your institution. If you are taking it, okay, if you are taking chemistry, you have a broader spectrum if you want to major in the line of STEM career. But if you want to major in the line of arts, worry not, okay? Whether you are taking physics and biology, it's not a big deal for you. So high school subject is another key thing. It's also something that we are going to discuss in a while. Number 5, the 5th thing that now you should do, now that you have considered your passion and interest, you have considered your personality, you have considered your career personality, you have considered your high school subjects, then the 5th thing that you should do is to choose your career. Now sit back and choose that career. If it is maybe piloting, take piloting and ask yourself, how passionate are you about piloting, I mean. On top of being pilot, okay, what is the career personality associated with piloting? All right, it is definitely, it's not something like realistic. Okay, you find that if you are taking piloting, you should be thinking of social. Okay, you should be thinking of convectional. You understand what I mean? That's it. Those are the career personality associated with piloting. Okay, so do you have that in you? Do you have that? Do you feel that you have those personalities with you? Okay, so that's the 5th thing that you should do now. Sit and review, and not review, but select your career. Then number 6, after you've done that, I always advise my good students, my good audience, match your university course with your career. Let me give you a good example. There are so many courses in the university that you can take, but they will lead you into the same career. Let me give you a good example. Education, teaching, to be a teacher. Some of the teachers, again, teachers in the house, you allow me to give an example with you. Some of the teachers did diploma in education, all right? That's a different course. Another teacher did Bachelors of Education Arts. Students, I hope you get to notice this, Bachelors of Education Arts. Another teacher did Bachelors of Education Science. Another teacher went to the university and did Bachelors of Art in Education. Those are 2 different courses. Bachelors of Education Art and Bachelors of Art Education. It's again a different course in the university. Another teacher did Bachelors of Science with IT. And others did Bachelors of what is offered in Maseno, Bachelors of Education with, Bachelors of Education with ICT. You notice that I have mentioned 6 different courses in the university, but you'll end up being a teacher. You'll end up being a teacher. In this case, a high school teacher. You understand? So it's good that you get to identify the course that you will take in the university. And that is something that we are going to discuss in a while. Maybe you might be wondering, how do I identify my course in the university? That is one of the things that we are going to discuss in a while. Somebody is asking, what about computer studies? I guess you want to ask about a teacher of computer studies, all right? But again, when you go to the university, you find that again, they are different. You can take a diploma in education, okay? Secondary option, majoring in computers and maybe mathematics or physics and computers, or computers and any other subject. You understand? Or maybe you can go to the university again, do Bachelors of Arts. Notice this, Bachelors of Education Arts, majoring in mathematics and computer studies. It is there, it is being done. So worry not, these are some of the things that we are going to discuss in the next section. Somebody is asking, if you want to teach in a special school, must you have any disability? No, it's not a must to have any disability. If you want to teach in a special school, all you need to go is doing a course in the university, Bachelors of Education Special Needs. You are still a teacher, but now a teacher of students with special needs. Again, you specialize what is the special need with your area, okay? So thank you so much for that question. Now, number 7, number 6, not number 6, but number 7. After you have identified your career, it's always good to review your choice. What is it that you have selected? Is it really something that is in you? Is it something you're passionate about, you are so much interested in, or you are just selecting it out of the blues? It's necessary that you review your choice. Go through the process again from the first step of passion and interest, the second step of personality, career personality, high school subject, then choosing your career, identifying the course in the university, and then there you are. Review that. And finally, once you've done that, my dear students, the next thing I tell you, like the guy on the screen, celebrate a little bit, be happy that you have identified your career, okay? And on top of that, write your career in capitals, in capital letters, and get to action. Okay, yes, you have identified that now you want to become a teacher, you want to do a piloting, you want to become a nurse, you want to become a journalist. Celebrate. That's not something easy. You know, it's not something easy to have identified your career. So celebrate just like the guy on the screen. Be happy about it. Okay, if possible, scream a little bit about it, and then let everyone know that that is what you're working towards being. Maybe for you, don't have too much time, but since you have selected your careers, it's okay. All right, with a little time that is left, maybe 1 month before you sit for your KCSE, you know that you are working for nothing short of that career that you have right now. I hope that if by the beginning of the session you didn't have a career, by now, you now know how you identify your career. It's not necessarily you have it now, but you know what to consider, the process to follow for you to be able to have your career. I wish I could hear your voices, but it's okay, there's no problem. I hope that somebody will be helped by that process. Well, hoping that I'm not too far, let me see if there's any question. Well, there's no question. Just to remind you that if you have a question, you can use the chat area. Okay, you can use the chat area. Somebody can assist, type in your question. If you don't have a way of typing in your question, towards the end of the session, I'll give you a chance to speak or to turn on your mic to ask your question verbally or through audio for me to be able to answer your question. But I would really prefer and really appreciate if you use the chat area to answer your question. The student who asked about becoming a teacher of computer studies, I hope I answered your question correctly. The other one who asked about whether if it's a must you become special needs. If you want to become a teacher of special needs, whether it's a must you have a disability, no. I hope I answered your question. As questions comes in, I'll help you to answer. Somebody is asking, what are the requirements of becoming a gyno? And maybe I hope you are asking about a gynecologist. You know, gynecologist is a field of medicine. That's being a doctor. Something that maybe I should mention at this point is the higher you go up the level of education, or the higher you go the ladder of education, that's how you get to specialize. Okay, the narrower your area of expertise becomes. What do I mean by that? At the level, at down level here, when you are getting to the university, you start a course generally, okay? To start a course generally, maybe to become a doctor, maybe a doctor of, maybe a clinical officer, to give an example. A clinical officer is that doctor that you normally find in the hospital. When you go to the hospital and you find a doctor seated waiting for you, you explain all the symptoms that you're explaining to him or her, that's a clinical officer. But now from the level of a clinical officer, you can specialize now to become maybe not only a doctor, but a doctor of maybe the stomach, maybe, okay? Or the doctors of the heart, or maybe the doctor of, you specialize, okay? That is again another level. Tuko pamoja. So I hope the student who is asking about gynecologist, all right? It's an area that you specialize in, because a gynecologist is a specialist, okay? Is a specialist. I hope you understand that, all right? As you ask your question, I'll try to answer them in the best way possible. Good. Having discussed that, students, allow me in a quick way to share some of the programs that I have, that I do offer for schools. Number one, as a roster Ben, as I told you, I'm a career counselor. I do offer this program, KUCCPS Course Selection and Career Guidance. This is what I'm offering to you right now. This is one of my programs that I'm giving you at a free cost to the schools. I hope that this is a program that will benefit you. On top of that, I do have a program for the Form 4s. We call it the Finishing Strong program, where we talk about goal settings, where we talk about academic excellence, we talk about getting a way of winning. That is formulating a winning strategy, the different academic tools that you have, and we also do a lot of inspiration and motivation to your class. So the Form 4 class, I have a section of this program, a little bit of it at the end of the program. So if you want to experience it, please be with me until the end. You have a little, just an inch of what that program has for you. On top of that, I also have a program on academic excellence mentorship. This is a program best for students who would be in Form 3, Form 2, Form 1, or even the Form 4s, okay, where we talked about academic excellence, because that is the goal why we are in school. We are in school not for anything else, but for the purposes of actualizing the ability of academics that we have within us. So in this program, we talk about SWOT analysis. Other than setting targets, academic goals, we talk about SWOT analysis, how you do academic SWOT analysis for your own self. You get to evaluate whether you are winning or whether you are losing. Plus also we get a lot of motivation, a bit of motivation. We also help you to realize the different tools that you have. We also have a program. I also have a program on career guidance. Okay, this is best for the Form 2s and the Form 1s who select their subjects. This is where they get to identify the careers that they have, okay, or they can choose from. Again, they get to know what is required in certain careers, what the subjects are required, and so on and so forth, okay? So there's a program that is best for the Form 2s and the Form 1s, that program on career guidance. Those who are just about to select, I know some of the schools, this is the time they are selecting, others they have not selected, they will be selecting in a while. On top of that, I also have another program that I call the Student Leaders Induction Program, or the training. This is for the student council. I'll call them the prefects, okay? We get to induct them into leadership. Some of them have never experienced leadership, and some of the amazing things that we study with them, it's about leadership skills, conflict resolutions, communication skills, and teamwork or team building, how they work as a team, as that one group, again, for you to be assisted, you as a school administration, to be assisted to achieve the very best you want for your students. And lastly, I do have a program, I call it the A Club of Achievers Club, okay? I already said that I am the founder of the Achievers Club. I have an A Club program. This is a program for the students who you refer to as sleeping giants. Teachers, please take note of this. This is not a program for every other student. It's specifically for a program for students who we call the sleeping giants. Those students that we believe they got the potential in them, but they are sleeping on their potential, okay? There's a good program for them that we get to discuss with them how to actualize that ability they have, how they get to become the real giants, no longer the sleeping giants, but the real giants. This is a good program for them. And mind you, it's good that I mentioned that this is for the teachers, not for the students, that anytime you invite me to come offer any of my programs in your school, I always give an A-Club program at free cost to your students, those that you refer to as sleeping giants, or those students that you say, allow me to use this word due to lack of better words, performing decimally, okay? So I take my time to share with them what they need to do and how they can be able to actualize their dreams. Good, that's done. Students, back to you. I hope you get a cup of water. If you have a bottle of water or a cup of water, maybe take a sip, keep hydrated for you to be able to keep going, okay? Again, I'll also have a session for you if you want to rush. I know some of us need to rush to get relieved. You shall have a minute for that, all right? Good. Now that we have discussed about career selection, how to identify our careers, how to keep moving, or how to identify our careers and keep moving towards them, Students, these are the candidates 2021 and candidates 2022. Allow me to tell you something about Kenya University and College Central Placement Services, commonly known as the KUCCPS. Okay, this is one of the things that really attracted you to come and listen to this. What is KUCCPS? If you don't know, that KUCCPS is a government institution that is responsible of placing you into an institution of higher learning. Institution of higher learning. And when I talk of institution of higher learning, could be a college, could be a TVET, could be a university. Are you together? So KUCCPS, it is the body that is responsible of placing you into an institution of higher learning. Now that you are sitting for your KCSE, you are celebrating that freedom is coming. Freedom is coming. But what after the freedom has come? Okay, you score a certain grade, isn't it? After you score a certain grade, the question comes, where will you go? Okay, the government comes in at that point and it helps you. It saves you the energy of rushing from one school to the other, from one institution to other, running from Nairobi to Syokimau due to wherever. You understand what I mean? All over the country looking for an institution where you are going to study. It saves you that energy. If you apply for placement through the KUCCPS, Kenya University and College Central Placement Services, it gets to place you into your institution of choice. Take note of that. Institution of choice. You are the one who have selected. Where you choose is where you get placed. But again, it comes with a condition. It is not as easy as you think, isn't it? So think about this. And somebody is asking, why apply for placement via KUCCPS? You know, I know that's the question that many get to ask. Yes, my dad has got money. We can drive all the way to Nairobi. We can drive all the way to Nakuru. We can drive. Why should I apply for KUCCPS and dad, mom, auntie, uncle, Buka has got money? This is the reason why. When I'm interacting with university students, they normally tell me that there are two categories of students in the university. We have the first category we refer to as GSS. GSS, G for good, okay? GSS. And we have the second category that they call themselves SSS, triple S. You understand? SSS. I know you're asking, what does that mean? What the hell? This is the hell that I'm talking about. GSS stands for government-sponsored students, okay? SSS is self-sponsored students. Get to know the difference. Government-sponsored student and self-sponsored student. For government-sponsored students, you get to be funded. You get some of your school fees paid by the government. All right? But for the self-sponsored students, allow me to use the words, unapabana na hali yako. You pay for your school fees. Okay, from the first shilling to the very last shilling. Let me explain myself. When you are a government-sponsored student, if the fees for a whole semester is 70,000 Kenya shillings, the government will pay something like 30,000 Kenya shillings, and then you only struggle with 40,000. You understand what I mean? But if you are a self-sponsored student, SSS, you get to pay the total 70,000 Kenya shillings. That's what I'm saying. Unapabana na hali yako. You understand now? So the reason as to why you should apply for placement via KUCCPS is for you to receive the government funding, the government capitation. Maybe let me explain this. Right now, you as a student, you are a government-sponsored student. You know why? The government pays some of your school fees. The government pays, I think, 22,400 per year, part of your school fees. As let's, for example, talk of, there are some schools that are paying, I think, 35,000 Kenya shillings per year. In real sense, you should be paying 57,000 Kenya shillings. You understand? But the government is paying 22,000 Kenya shillings for you, and that's why you only pay 35,000 Kenya shillings. Hello, I hope that's clear. Why? Because you are a government-sponsored student. But for a self-sponsored student, this is what happens. when you go to, this is what happens when you go to private schools, that the government does not pay for you. Those students who are studying in private schools currently, you understand the government does not pay even a single cent for you. Your parents, your guardians pays, your sponsors pays everything, entirely everything. This is what we mean. So when you apply for placement via the KUCCPS, you become a government-sponsored student. Unlike when you go looking for an institution on your own. What you should take note of right now, my dear students, is that education is very expensive, especially here in Kenya. It is not cheap to acquire education. And because we may not have the funding, all of us, okay? This is why we should take this opportunity and apply for placement via KUCCPS, the Kenya University and College Central Placement Service. Take advantage. And can I tell you something? Some of us, or some of the students here, have a mentality that if you score a grade that is not a C+, C+ and below, the government has no choice for you. Hello, I want to clear that. From the statistics that was released last year, on 29th November, it proved that majority of students perceive that the government only supports students who score C+ and above. That is not true, my dear students. And that doesn't mean that you don't put hard work into education. The government supports every student, whether you score an A or whether you score an E. All the grades displayed on the screen, they are supported by the government. You get a placement through the government. How? If you score between an A and a C+, you get an undergraduate degree. In other words, you'll be placed to go and study a degree course in the university. You understand what I mean? But if you don't score a C+ and above, that is between a C plane and an E, then depending on your qualification, the government will place you for a diploma or a certificate course. Certificate is what we call artisan. You understand what I mean? So if you score between an A and a C+, at least you are sure that the government will place you for a degree course, unless you don't want to. All right. If you score between a C plane and an E, the government will place you for either a diploma or a certificate, depending on your qualification. So it is not that the government will not place you. The government will place you, sorry for that. The government will place you regardless of the grade that you acquire. So that gives you a bit of relaxation. For the student maybe who have been working hard, you know, you've been trying hard, you never scored a C+, and maybe that is the target that you have in your KCSE. I'm not saying that you relax, continue working hard, continue pushing yourself to the end, but if the worst comes and you don't get the C+, you get a C plane, at least the government will place you for a diploma. Okay, if you don't score a C plane, maybe, God forbid, you score a D-, the government will place you maybe for a certificate or what they call artisan courses. So have this with you and also share this message with some of your students, some of your friends students, that the government will place you regardless of your performance. But it's only if, again, you apply. It's only if, it will only happen if you apply. If you don't apply, because that's the only way you can show interest, the government may not be able to place you, may not be able to tell that you are going. We are going to discuss about application, but I want you to take note of this, that all this placement that I'm talking about will solely depend on competition. Take note of what I've written there, written in red, that placement is based on competition. Come closer and listen me good here. What do we mean by placement by competition? I'm sure you have heard of your brothers and sisters and relatives and friends who are before you. They complain that the government placed me into what course, it is not what I selected. The government, they have all those stories. I want to give you the answers, all right? This is why. Take note of this. Your subject performance is the first factor, all right? I have said that placement is based on competition. Yes, what do we mean by competition? This is what we mean by competition. The subject performance, the individual subject performance is one of the key factors. I will explain myself why. The second key factor is the Kcse aggregate, or what we call the mean. Utapata nini Kcse? C+. That is the aggregate. What are you targeting in your Kcse? An A minus, that is your aggregate. What are you targeting in your Kcse? A C+, that is your aggregate. You understand what I mean? So these two things, or these two factors, will really determine how you will be placed. Subject performance, number 1. Kcse aggregate, number 2. What do I mean? Take note of this. When we talk of subject performance, this is what we mean. This is an extract from some of the materials that we are provided with by the KUCCPS. If you look, for example, at a course that I have here, I hope that you can all see. The first course there, that is Bachelors of Dental Surgery. There's a doctor who specializes in Meno, you know? Okay, if you look at this course is very precise. Take note of this, my students, that if you want to go and take this course, if you want to go and take that course in a Bachelors of Dental Surgery at the university, it is a must for you to have taken biology in your high school. Take note of this. It's a must for you to have taken biology in your high school. And not only taking biology, you must have attained at least a B plane. Hello? This is why I say that subject performance will determine that it's a must. If you want to go and take a Bachelors of Medicine Bachelors of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, that's another course. It's a MUST is a must for you to have scored a B plane in biology in your KCSE. If you go to your chemistry, this is the subject 2. It's a must for you to have done chemistry, and not only done chemistry, to have performed well and scored at least a B plane. Take note of this, at least a B plane for you to take any of these courses here. Subject 3, that it's a must for you to have studied mathematics, and not only mathematics, it's mathematics alternative A. Majority of schools are doing mathematics alternative A. However, we have schools doing alternative B. So if you want to go and take Bachelors of Dental Surgery or Bachelors of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, it's a must for you to have done mathematics alternative A or physics. And not only doing the 2 or either of the 2, you must have scored at least a B plane. At least a B plane. Hello? Please look at Beacon at what we are displaying here. The fourth and the final subject, that for you to go and take this course in the university, Bachelors of Dental Surgery. Remember, I just picked a course at random. It's a must for you to have done English or Kiswahili, and on top of that, to have scored at least a B plane. Hello? Take note of this, to have scored at least a B plane. So what does that tell you? That if you don't score a B plane in biology, or a B plane in chemistry, or a B plane in mathematics, or a mathematics alternative A or physics, and a B plane in English or Kiswahili, then forget about this course. Hi, I hope you are getting me and getting me good. Let me give you another example. Look at where my pointer is. Maybe if you want to go and take a Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, I hope you're able to see my pointer here. If you want to go and take this course here, Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, it is a must for you to have done biology and scored at least a C+. Look at this, at least a C+. It's a must for you to have done chemistry and scored at least a C+. Look at this. It's a must for you to have done mathematics alternative A or physics and scored at least a C+. It's a must for you to have done English or Kiswahili right together and scored at least a C+. My dear students, I hope now you understand why we are saying that your subject performance, individual subject performance, might be a big hindrance to doing that course or to your career. This is why subject performance, very keen So I have many of the students, especially girls, when I interact with them, they tell me I want to go and take nursing. Those of us who want to go and take nursing in the university or want to become a nurse, nurse is your career, you know, then at least you know what you need. You need biology with C+ at least, chemistry, C+ at least, mathematics or physics, C+ at least, English or Kiswahili, C+ at least. At least, those are the words, at least. The lowest that you should be performing in these 4 subjects. We call them the cluster subjects. Cluster subjects are those subjects that are mandatory for a certain course. Cluster subjects are those subjects that are mandatory for a certain course. Dear students, there you are. You understand why I say that your KCSE, your KCSE subject performance will be a big hindrance? Okay, I hope you understand. Let me give you another example. Maybe somebody is saying, you just put those sciences or those STEM careers. Now, let me come to you, who you want to become a teacher. Somebody asked, you want to become a teacher? And I have a good example for you here. You want to train to become a teacher of ECDE. You understand what you mean by ECDE? ECDE stands for Early Childhood and Primary Education. Huyo ni mwalimu wa nursery. Let me say it that way. So majority of people or majority of students despise walimu wa nursery sana. But look at the qualification that you need for you to go and take an education, a Bachelors of Education, Early Childhood, ECDE. Okay, for you to become a teacher huyo mwenye unadharau, you require for you to have scored at least C+ in English, at least D+ in mathematics, be it mathematics alternative A or mathematics alternative B, and C+ in 2 teaching subjects. Let me explain this. You want to become a teacher of mathematics chemistry, all right? So you are going to take a Bachelors of Education a Bachelors of Education Science. Or let me give you a good example with history. Let me pull an art subject. History CRE, thank you. You want to become a teacher of history CRE. You are going to take a Bachelors of Education Arts, specializing in history and CRE. What will you need? You require for you to take that course, or for you to become that teacher, for you to take that career, you require to have scored at least a C+ in English, hello, a D+ in mathematics, and a C+ in your 2 teaching subjects. What do you mean by that? You must have scored a C+ in history and a C+ in CRE. All right? I hope you're able to get that. For those of us who want to become teachers of Islamic religious education, because we have Muslims in the house, maybe you want to teach Islamic. So you are going to take Bachelors of Arts in Religion, be it with IT or without IT, all right? So you require at least CRE or Islamic Religious Education, IRE, or HRE, Hindu Religious Education. Or in that specific subject, you require to have scored at least a C+, right, together. Then in the second cluster subject, you require at least a C+, right, together. Then any other in group 2, group 3 subjects. But you see here, you require at least a C+ in CRE, at least a C+ in English and Kiswahili. This is why we are saying, my good students, that your subject performance is a key hindrance. You may score C+ in CRE or IRE or HRE, but you don't score a C+ in English, then you forget about this course at degree level. You understand what I mean? You want to become a teacher of maybe English, Bachelors of Education, English Literature, okay? If you don't score a C+ in English, then what are you thinking about? I hope my language is not too harsh for you, but all I'm doing, my dear students, is to show you what you need for you to be able to perform. Or for you to be able to make it in your career choice. So your subject performance is very key. It's very, very important. All right? Let me go to the next thing. Your Kcse Aggregate. Now, There's something that we refer to as cutoff points, or what we refer cluster points. Or you'll hear some people talk of weighted cluster points. Whichever name they baptize these points, we are meaning of it's one of the same thing. Now, we have talked of the cluster subjects, and I have allowed me to repeat myself for credit purposes, that cluster subjects simply refers to those subjects that you need to take a certain course in the university. I've given you a good example. It's like if you want to go and take law, some of us here want to go and take law. Good? You want to go and take law. It's a good thing for you. But did you know for you to take law, you require at least a B plane in English or Kiswahili, a B plane in history, a B plane in CRE. These are subjects, they are cluster subjects that are mandatory for you to take that course in the university. So other than now the cluster subjects, we have now what we are referring to the cluster points or the cutoff points. What are they, or what is this? Cluster points, these are the minimum points that you must attain for you to take that course in a specific university. Let me repeat myself. The minimum number of points that you must attain to take that course in the university, a specific university. I'll be explaining myself further in a while. So for now, just know that these are the minimum points you must attain to study a course or a specific course in a specific university. Let me put a few examples. If you want to go and study Bachelors of Science, in this case, Actuarial Science, okay? In this case, Actuarial Science at Egerton University, okay? The cutoff points in 2020, it was 35.48, okay? The same course, Bachelors of Science, Actuarial Science at Kenyatta University, the same year, the cutoff was 38.135. Take the difference. All right. The same course, Bachelors of Science, Actuarial Science at Tharaka-Nithi University College, the same year, 2020, the cutoff was 20.048. Hello, students. Take note of this. The course is the same. The universities are different. The points are different. So in 2020, for this course at Egerton University, cutoff for 2020 was 35.48. For 2019, you realize that it was a bit higher. It was 37.048. In the previous year, 2018, it was even higher because it was 38.5. In the previous year, it was a little bit low compared to 2018, but higher compared to 2020 because it was 38.03. And the trend continues. Look at the same course at Kenyatta University. It was 38.13 in 2020, but in 2019, it was 40.19. In 2018, it was higher. It was at 41.218. The same course in the university, the Tharaka-Nithi University College, the same course, Bachelors of Science, Actuarial Science, all right? 2020, 20.04, 2019, 24.6, 2018, 24.249. I know there is a student who is asking, now, Mr. Arosto, all this literature, all this numbers, sisi na hesabu hatusikizanagi. Sasa ni nini hizi unasema? Allow me to tell you this. It is necessary for you to get to know the cutoff, the range, not necessarily the specific cutoff point, but the range. Why do I say the range? If you look at the trend of Egerton University, Bachelors of Science in Actuarial Science, it was 35.48. Previous year, it was 37.04. 2018, it was 38.5. What does this tell you? That 2021, where you will be classified now, okay, you should not be eyeing for anything less than 35.48. It should be anything above that for you to be on a safe grounds. The same case at Kenyatta University, it should be 38.13, the lowest you should go. The Tharaka-Nithi University should be, the lowest you should go is 20.048. And you might be asking at the same time, now, how do we calculate these things? Or how do I know my cutoff points of my course? And that's the next thing that I'm going to discuss with you. And so now, what we are going to identify here is that we talked of the cluster points, Okay? Those cluster points, they are given by your Kcse aggregate and take note of this, your KCSE subject performance, or what we refer to as cluster subjects. Cluster subjects. Why? Let's calculate cutoff points, or what we are referring to as the weighted cluster points. Wanafunzi wasiopenda hesabu, muniwie radhi, but this is inevitable. Hii lazima tupambane nayo wadau. Okay? When I'm teaching this to students, those who don't love maths, I tell them this, with all due respect, that if you hate the subject maths, or if you don't like maths, then this world is not for you. You know why? Because even the devil himself, I have never associated with the devil. I have never paid him a visit, and I will never, but I know the devil also uses maths. Hesabu inatumika juu biguni na kwa shetani. You know, you ask me how. Kuna mwanafunzi nimesikia nimeuliza how. We are told that the devil, when you go to hell, you will burn. Utachomeka kwa moto. I ask you, how is the devil able to tell that this is the degree of fire that we need, the degree of heat that we need? Ama kama anatumia kuni, unajuaje anakuchoma na atachoma na kuni kiasi gani? Hiyo ni hesabu, my friend. So lazima upende hesabu, eh? Yes, I'm giving myself a break. I also give you a break because we are diving into hesabu kidogo to see gumu, by the way, because there's a formula for you. Why? Look at this. Students at Lamu Girls, how are you? You are good? I can see somebody sleeping. Mwalimu who is at Lamu Girls, at least they have waved at me. Thank you so much. I can also see the students at Narumol Girls High School. Narumol Girls, hi. You are there? Good. I can also see the student at Magarini Girls, Magarini in Kilifi County, hi. God is good. I'm happy to see you. Nkwene Girls, though your camera is off, I'm able to tell that you are online. How are you? You are there with me? Okay, somebody with the, okay, I don't know which school is this. The school with the title Jeppe Jackson. Whichever the school is, or the teacher who is there, how are you? And also the school with the title Jamila. God is good. The school with the title Joseph Derito. You are there with me? Good. Yes, Mwalimu Narumoru ana confirm whether the screen is okay. I can see you, Mwalimu. Just to know, Narumoru is, yes, I'll be telling you more about Narumoru. Now, which is the formula that you should take? Which is the formula to use for you to be able to calculate your cutoff points? Let me tell you this, that you will calculate your cutoff points using your KCSE target. I know by now, each and every student has a KCSE target, that in English, this is your target. Kiswahili, this is your target. Mathematics, this is your target. History, this is your target. We are going to use your KCSE target to calculate your cutoff point for you to be able to tell whether you qualify for that course in that university of choice. Hello? Let me repeat myself, that we are using your KCSE targets, are we together, to calculate your cutoff points for you to be able to tell whether you qualify for your placement for that course in that university that you want to go to. All right? So this is the formula that we use. Oof. You know, I like when students see, some of the students, when they see a formula in maths, they start asking, what the hell? Now, what is W? What is R? What is T? The other day, I was in a school called Morwaki Boys, though it's not here with us. Morwaki Boys, and I was giving them a formula with the X. And one of the boys stood up and asked me, Mr. Arosto, what is this X that you are talking about? Okay. And he made fun and told me that this X, the grandfather was looking for it. The parents went to school, were still looking for the X. Now he is in school, that he is still looking for X. Where shall we get the S? Anyway, on a light note though. So that's what it means. The W that you see on the screen, the W that you see on the screen, it stands for the weighted cluster points. Okay, this is what we are referring to as cut-off points. That's the W, all right? The R, it is the sum of the cluster subjects. What do we mean by the sum of the cluster subjects? Remember we talked of the cluster subjects. those subjects that are mandatory for a certain course. For example, when we talked of Bachelors of Dental Surgery, we have talked of biology, we have talked of mathematics, we have talked of chemistry. We have talked of that, isn't it? Then we have talked of English or Kiswahili. Those are the cluster subjects, the subjects that are mandatory for you to take that course. When you want to go and take aviation, okay, there's geography, there's mathematics, there's physics, chemistry, those subjects, you know. When you want to go and take education, there are those courses that you need. I mean, not courses, but subjects that you need. These are the subjects that we are referring to as the cluster subjects. Hello. Then we have the T. The T stands for your aggregate performance. This is what I referred to as the Kcse Aggregate. Hello. The Kcse Aggregate, this is what we are referring to as the aggregate performance. So please take note of this. W for cutoff points or the weighted cluster points. R is for the sum of the cluster subjects. Hello. And T is for the aggregate performance. So you don't need to do a lot of maths here. All you need to calculate is your R and your T. The moment you calculate your R, put it where it is supposed to be, your T where it is supposed to be, then you have gotten your W. You can punch your calculator and get your W. Good. Now let's get an example here. There's a student who is called John who want to go and take Bachelors of Science, to be more precise, Actuarial Science at Egerton University. All right, and his KCSE target is as shown below. This is what this student is targeting. Okay, somebody have just said, he must be a bright student. Yes, he is a bright student. John is targeting a B plane of 9 points at the KCSE. He is targeting a Kiswahili, he is targeting a B plus, which is a 10. Mathematics, he is targeting an A, 12. I can see the student at Magarini mwenye anashika mdomo, usijali. Mathematics and A is a 12. Yes, that student is targeting that. Physics, the student is targeting a B minus, which is 8 points. Chemistry, the student must be challenged a little bit in chemistry, targeting a 7. Then history, targeting another plain A, and CRE, targeting a 9, that's a B plane, and his aggregate is a 9.52. That tells you it's a B plus. So John, I don't know he is from which secondary school, but this is what he is targeting, and he wants to go and take Actuarial Science at Egerton University. So I ask you, my good students, a big, simple question. Does John qualify for the course at Egerton University? Yes. Does, according to your own assessments, according to your own thinking, do you think John qualifies for this course, Bachelors of Science, Actuarial Science at Egerton University? Maybe you said yes, others have said no. Regardless of the answer, let's check this together. Does he qualify? The first thing that we have to check is, what are the subject requirements? What are the subject requirements? The cluster subjects. The cluster subjects. Again, I have an extract from the manuals. And the Bachelors of Science in Actuarial Science, you can see it here. Bachelors of Actuarial Science, Bachelors of Science in Actuarial Science, Bachelors of Science, Actuarial Science, Bachelors of Science, Actuarial Science with IT. Then all others are there, Bachelors of Financial Engineering and all that. We are interested with Bachelors of Science, Actuarial Science. So what does this subject require? Look at it. Up here, I hope you are able to tell subject 1. The subject required is mathematics alternative A. You're able to tell that, right? That the subject required is mathematics alternative A. So for you to go and take Bachelors of Science, Actuarial Science, for John to take that requires mathematics alternative A with a C plus, at least a C plus. Hello, are we there? At least a C plus. Good. Subject 2. Subject 2, and this one is very favorable because it says subject 2 or group 2. Which are the group 2 subjects? These are the sciences, right? Physics, chemistry, biology. So in this case, the subject required here is English or Kiswahili English or Kiswahili, that's what it means when you see this gray here. It means that it's the same as what is up here. English or Kiswahili with a C+. Right together? So John requires to have scored mathematics alternative A a C+, at least. English or Kiswahili, again, at least a C+. Then any other of group 3 subject or group 4 or whatever. So the baseline here is, does John has mathematics alternative A with at least a C+? Does John has English or Kiswahili with at least a C+? Look at the targets that John had. In mathematics, he had very high target, isn't it? In mathematics, in Kiswahili, his target was a B+, which is a 10. So let's give him that, because there's the subject that we are assuming he will score this, okay? Then in mathematics, his target was an A. I hope you're able to see this. His target was an A. So again, way above C+. So he qualifies. Then physics, we have been told in subject 3 here, they say subject 3 is any group 3. Okay, so in any group 3 means it's physics, biology, or chemistry. I have picked the best for John. So John has an 8 in physics. So I picked that one for him. Then in subject 4, at this point here, subject 4, they say a second group 2 or second group 3 or group 4 or group 5. So for me here, I have picked a group 3, the one that John has performed the best. And in this case is history. Hello, I hope we are sailing on together. So from the cluster subject perspective, John qualifies because he has mathematics, he has English or Kiswahili with C+ at least. So in Kiswahili, he has a B+, way above. In mathematics, he has an A, way above. Tuko pamoja hadi pale? Then let's get now to calculating the cutoff points. The cutoff points. Now we started by saying that the R represents the sum of the cluster subject points. The sum of the cluster subject points. T represents the aggregate, the sum of the aggregate points. I hope you are together. So for a good student, the R for John, you can calculate the R for John and you get that the R for John is 42, there it is, and the T for John is 67. That is, if you take the total that John got here from this one, all right? If you put all this, if you get the sum, the 10 plus 9, 19 plus 12 plus 8 plus 7 plus 12 plus 9, that is what is giving us now the 67. Hello? I hope we are sailing together, okay? So with that one, a student in Alumol Girls, I don't know whether it is hesabu imekushtua ama ni performance ya John. I hope you are just like John, all right? So John has that performance and John has scored like that. So let's see what his cluster point is. Now remember the formula here is W equals into brackets, the square root of R over 48 times T over 48, numerator 4, all that multiplied by 48. So for John, let's plug in. His R is 42. His T is 67. So you have this formula. Just a matter of plugging in. Okay. Just a matter of plugging them in. You understand that? So can now get your calculator. Needless for you to use a pen and a paper. If you don't have time, you can punch so fast. And if you use your calculator well, you realize that John cluster point is at 39.52. From his target, you want to go and take actuarial science. Okay, John will have scored at 39.52 as his cutoff points. So here comes another question. Does John qualify for that course? So we get back to our table and check. Look at this. At Egerton University, last year, 2020, John would have gone to do this course. Why? The cutoff was 35.48 and John has scored a 39. In the previous year, it was 37. The other year, it was 38.5. The previous year, 27, it was 38.0. So John is far, far, far much ahead, isn't it? At least he can sit and relax and be almost 100% sure that he will be taken to take this course in this university at Egerton University, depending on the performance, the general performance of students in the country. So my dear students, I've just pulled that simple example, okay? I'll also be sharing this manual, these rights with your teachers. So just in case you did not get how to calculate, because on the interest of time, because time is really rushing, okay? I may not be able to go through everything or to repeat that time and again, but in case you have not gotten a point, ask a question through the chat area, type a question, or wait until the end, ask your question verbally or through the audio, or ask your teacher to share this manual with you. I'll be sending it to you. You'll be able to follow. Okay, so in other words, John will have qualified, John will have celebrated. I mean, John will have qualified, and therefore he will celebrate that he'll go take actuarial science at Egerton University. And if he does not fit in Egerton University, he can go take the same course at Kenyatta University. He has chances. And if not that, maybe at Tharaka Nithi University. I do hope that you are able to calculate your cutoff points. Okay, they are very important when you are choosing your courses. Right now, I know it is the time your teachers are telling you, choose your course. Yes, you don't just choose your course blindly, okay? Other than considering your careers, right together, other than considering your Kcse aggregate, it is also important you consider your what? Cutoff points. Because one thing we have noted is that cutoff points are different for the same course in different universities. You have seen in Egerton, last year, a student who had a 35.48 qualified. In Tharaka Nithi, a student who had a 20.04 qualified. Okay. In Kenyatta University, a student who had 38.135 qualified. This means that if a student chose to take actuarial science at Egerton University and does not get the placement in that university, that student did not get the opportunity to do the same course at Kenyatta University. Why? For Kenyatta University, their cutoff is too high, is 38.135. But for the student at Egerton University who chose to take that course at Egerton University, this is the cutoff points. And now that one will lead us now to the next thing that we want to discuss. I know I have a question that I have not answered, and at this point I look at it. Somebody says that if I wish to pursue public finance, what subject should I have studied and what the minimum cluster required? All right. If I have gotten your question right, that you want to go and study public finance, pursue public finance, what are the subjects, requirement, and the minimum subject cluster required? Now, allow me to say this to you, my dear students. I may not be able to tell each and every requirement for each and every course in the university. Okay, I may not be able to tell this, but I'll be sharing manuals with your teachers. Some of the resources that I promised, I'll be sending them via emails. You can ask them from your teachers. They are basically manuals like these ones, like the one that I have shown you here. Okay, the one that you'll be able to tell, like this one. Okay, whoever is talking of public finance, if you look at this, it's such a manual that depicts what you need. For example, if you want to take Bachelors of Science in Economics, the subject that you require is mathematics with at least a C+, then English or Kiswahili, and so on and so forth, all right? So I'll be sharing such manuals with your teachers, so you can always ask them to guide you through, okay? Before I get to the next thing, another question has come in. Explain further on the formula of calculating cutoff points to my students, Narumol girls. Wow. Narumol girls, they are asking, how do you calculate the cutoff points? Okay, let me repeat the same example that I have used, okay, for the purposes of those students. That is the example that I have there, that John wishes to take Bachelors of Students. Now, let's replace John with Lydia at Narumol Girls. Lydia wants to go and take Bachelors of Science, Actuarial Science at this time round, maybe, okay, let's say Egerton University, and these are the KCSE targets, isn't it? That is what you want to go and do. Remember, we are using your targets. We are using your targets to check, to calculate your cutoff points. I'll be explaining why we are using targets. So you have your target stipulated in that table. All right, you have your target stipulated in that table. So the question is, do you qualify? So we say that the first thing that you need to check is the subject requirements. What are the subject requirements for that specific course? So for this specific course, that is Bachelors of Science in Actuarial Science, what you require is mathematics alternative A with at least a C+. I'm sure you're able to see here at this point, okay? At least a C+. Then for the same course, you require subject 2, it's any of the group 2, okay? Any of the group 2. And when we talk of any of the group 2, I hope you understand the classification. This is where you have the sciences, the physics, the biology, or the chemistry. These are the group 2 subjects. So any of the group 2, all right? Then any of the group 3, that is history, geography, Kiswahili, no, not Kiswahili, sorry, history, geography, CRE, right together. Then you have second, the subject for a second group 2. Remember, you had already picked group 2 here. So kama ulikuwa umechukua hapa, ulikuwa umechukua chemistry. So this, you have left an option of physics or biology. Or second group 3. That is, kama ulikuwa umechukua CRE hapa, you are left with either history or geography. Or group 4. That is where you call the technical or the so-called applied. Then you have the foreign languages as the group 5. Okay. So for John qualified because he takes mathematics. Okay, he has mathematics, he has English or Kiswahili, he has done physics and chemistry, right together, he has done history and CRE. So checking what John has here, his cluster subjects, we take them to be Kiswahili as subject 2, the best performed, right together. Remember, we are taking the best performed in each group classification. Then mathematics, at least a C+, John here, or Lydia in Almore Girls, has 12. You understand? Then physics, as subject 3, we take the best performed, which is B- in physics. Remember, John scored, or Lydia in Almore Girls has scored a C+ in chemistry. So we take the best in that group category, which is a B- in physics. Then we have history. Again, in subject 4, the best performed, which is a 12 in history. So if we calculate his cluster sum, the sum of the cluster subject, it is a 42. I hope you understand that, okay? It's a 42. That is the R. R stands for the sum of the cluster points. That is the 4 required, 4 mandatory subjects. Then the total aggregate, the total points that John has scored. The total required subjects are 7. So if you are taking 8, you have an advantage of 1. If you are taking 9, you have an advantage of 2. So the total required is 7. So that's, you take 12 times 7, that's where you get the 84 from, okay? So you add all your points and you get your T. For Lydia in normal girls, or for John in this example, is a 67. So with that one, we now just need to plug in our R, we plug in our T, okay? So we plug in our R, which is 42. We plug in our T, which is 67. And just taking your calculator and keying in these numbers that they are supposed to be, you get that the weighted cluster points or the cutoff points for John or for Lydia in normal girls will be that 9.52. So that means if you check that against the previous requirements in different universities, at Egerton University, John will have qualified. Why? In 2020, it was at 5.48. In 2019, it was at 7.48. In 2018, it was at 8. Somebody's mic is on. Please mute that. Good. Thank you for that. All right. So you have done that. Okay. You'll have scored all that. So John is almost sure, though not 100%, though not 100%, take my words, though not 100%, John will be almost sure that he'll qualify to take that, okay? To take that course, Actuarial Science at Egerton University. This is why I say it's good to calculate your cutoff points, okay? Because you are sure that as you apply for your course in that university, what you are required, what is the minimum targets, or what is the performance that you are required to have achieved. Again, I have said, if the formula you still not have gotten it, I'll be sharing this manual via the email. It's one of the resources that you'll be getting for you to be able to follow up. Please, teachers, I request you, humbly request you, please assist your students to calculate their cutoff points, because it's key when selecting those courses when selecting those courses in different universities. Now, you can sit and celebrate, my dear students. You've got all this information with you. I'm sure as you sit here with me, you are not the same way as you came in. Celebrate. Yes, celebrate. Just as the woman on the screen is celebrating that she can now be able to calculate her cutoff points. She can now be able to get so much about her courses. She is no longer the same as she came in. You are no longer the same as you joined the webinar. How I hope is the same. So I want to give you only 5 minutes, please, only 5 minutes. For those of us who are rushing to the loo, do that quick fast and come back. I hope it is okay, Mwalim, if I do that. At the same time, you allow me to keep hydrated, take a glass of water. Okay, 5 minutes, and then we carry on. The woman on the screen will still continue being there, celebrating, because I know majority of us now are celebrating, all right? Coming back in the next 5 minutes. Thank you. Can now continue with, thank you for that. We can now continue from where we stopped, okay? Good. Now, allow me to share this, a quick one, that in this coming month of March, this is not for you candidates of the year 2021, this is for the candidates 2022, 2023, 2024, that is the Form 3, the Form 2s, and the Form 1s, and also for you teachers who could be having relatives or friends, or maybe you could be having a son or a daughter who you want be assisted in experiencing a breakthrough in his or her performance. You've spotted that you want to experience, to utilize your academic potential, you want to give your all, you want to be guided, you want to be coached on how you can perform better than you're performing now, or you have spotted a student who has a potential, who you feel with a little bit of mentorship and guidance, then this student can be able to perform the best. Then I have a program for you. I have a solution for you. I call it the Academic Breakthrough Coaching, the ABC of academics. This is a program for those students who want to increase their performance. That is, utilize their academic potential and boost their academic performance through mentorship and through mentorship and also through coaching, all right? It's a program that I have been conducting for the last 5 years. This is my 6th year that I'll be doing this program, but it will be my 1st year that I'll be doing this program online. Before, I used to get students together, those who want, and we do it physically one-on-one. But now this would be my 1st year that I'll be doing it online, completely online. And also, let me tell you something else. It's absolutely free of charge. I do not charge. Just as we have had this webinar free of charge without charging you even a single coin, is the same way I do this program, Academic Breakthrough Coaching Program. It's a program that takes place during the holidays, okay? When the Form 4 candidates of the year 2021, you'll be sitting for your KCSE exam, On the other side, I'll be with students, Form 3s, Form 2s, and Form 1s, coaching, mentoring, helping them set goals, helping them do the academic SWOT analysis, helping them strategize on how they are going to perform, okay, online, all right? It's a program that we do it, and we do it absolutely for free. If you are interested, or you have a friend, or you have a relative who you feel that may need to be assisted in his or her academic performance, then set this word ABC March 2022 cohort. Okay, ABC March 2022 cohort to that number, either through an SMS or through a WhatsApp text. Okay, and from there, all other guidance will be offered. Okay, just register is ABC March 2022 cohort, and we get the ball rolling. Okay. I'm the same person who will be doing this. I'm normally assisted by another coach, but why not? I'm the one who will take the better part of it. Maybe you might be asking, does this program happen throughout? No. This program, as you can see, it is from 5th to 26th of March, sorry. Okay, that means it's every Saturday of that month. The 4 Saturdays, all right? 4 Saturdays, 1.5 hours, 90 minutes, okay, for 4 Saturdays. The first Saturday, the second, all the way to the last Saturday. So it is not morning to evening. It is not every other. No, it is only one day in a week, and that is on Saturdays. However, if you want to go to one-on-one coaching, you want me and you only, we sit and we get to discuss the issues that the student could be experiencing, how the student, maybe other things that the student might be experiencing. You are also at liberty to do that. You can always book for an online session with me at 30 minutes, and sometimes it extends. All you need to do is to visit my website, www.arostob.co.ke, and down there you see a blue button to book a session. You just click on the button, and once the session is booked, there we are. We just get to have the session one-on-one. Thank you. That's so much about the academic breakthrough coaching. So please spread the gospel to your brothers and sisters in the lower classes, Form 3s, Form 2s, and Form 1. Tell them about this. It's a program that I have seen really helping students actualize their dreams, go for their careers, go for the academic targets, and realize them, bring them into reality. That's not what brought us here, but it's good you get to know that. Now, you might be asking me, now that Arosto, you've talked so much about cutoff points, you've talked about identifying the careers and the requirements. What do we have for us to be able to identify this? What can we use? Okay, how shall we be able to identify these courses? How shall we be able to identify the requirements in each and every course? Then, worry not, I have got a solution for you. Number one, there's a booklet called Unlocking Career Possibilities by Mount Kenya University. I have a copy with me here on my desk. I have a copy of this. I hope you can be able to see. This is one of the books that you students can use. Teachers, please help your students acquire this book. Okay? It's a book that the moment you acquire this book, it has so much information on careers. Maybe to you Form 4s, it might not be of great help to you now, but to your brothers, to your junior sisters and brothers, it might be of great help, okay? Another book, it's what we call Career Booklet by the NEC, Kenya National Examination Council. Again, it's a book, I don't have a copy here, but I can help you secure one. It's a booklet, again, that has so much information about careers. This book actually has information about matching your course, your career, and its requirements. It's a very good book. It's a nice book. If the schools are able to acquire these booklets, then the better for their students. There is another book called The Essential Career Guide, again, by the Kenya University College and Central Placement Services, KUCCPS. Again, it's a very informative book on careers. Okay, if you have these books in your library, students, please go for them. Read through the book. Read through the books. You'll find so much information. The beauty of it is that it's not a book that you need to read from first page to the last page. No, it's just a simple book that you just need to identify your career, see what it needs, see what it requires, and different areas that you can work into. All right. There's another book called Career Pathways and University Handbook. Okay, there's a book written by Jerry Wagawi, a career counselor, again, a very informative book about careers. Okay, when I have visited schools, I have had teachers asking me, what books are available for careers. These are some of the books that you can use. Definitely, if I get more, I'll continue sharing with you the books that you can procure as a school, have them in your institutions for you to be able to be helped, or for your students to be able to be assisted to identify. These are books that you can use. More to those booklets, you also have now the site, KUCCPS, Kenya University and College Central Placement Service. My dear students, it's not a must for you to go through the school for you to get services from KUCCPS. You can go as an individual. They have a customer care help desk, and you'll be able to get this information absolutely for free. Okay, absolutely for free. So worry not. Maybe you might be saying, after school, shall we get these resources? Yes, you can get these resources. You can be able to visit KUCCPS. You can be able to go to their help desk. They can give you a lot of information, okay? And they'll be able to assist you as much as possible. Then there's something that I know majority of you have in your schools, the career compass. Others call it the career wheel. It's another important tool that you need to use, especially at this point. If you have not identified your career, it's an important tool that you need to go for, okay? If possible, go for this tool, okay? Go start against that tool. Study that. Maybe in the outermost circle, it normally shows different career or different courses that are available in the universities, okay? In the second inner circle, it shows the subject, cluster subject, what we call cluster subject. It shows those cluster subjects, all right? Okay. Then in the innermost circle, it shows mathematics. That tells you that mathematics is a core subject required by every other course. Every other course requires mathematics. Okay. So it's a tool that you can use. It is at your disposal. I know somewhere in your school compound, it is somewhere. And if the school doesn't have this, please ensure that you get this and show your students, train your students how to make use of it. It's so disappointed, allow me to say, that majority of schools have this tool, but they never care to show their students how to use it. And it is a very important tool. So if your school doesn't know how to use it, then I'm free again. You can call me. I can show you. I can help you to use that tool. Then something else, we have different brochures that we receive from universities. This is especially for you students. When you find students, universities coming and sharing these manuals with you, manuals from Mount Kenya, others from ZTech, others from which university, majority of us tend to think that they are just marketing themselves. Yes, they are marketing themselves, but those prospectus that they give you, those brochures that they give you, they normally carry a lot of information about career. So if possible, again, if you have a chance, get that manual, go through it. It will help you to know what courses are offered in what university and what are the requirements for you to take that course in that specific university. Good. Having shared that so much, I know so much. Today I'm giving you so much information. I'm sorry that I had to give you all this information, but I want you to put a smile on your face. And as you put a smile on your face, just like the emoji on your screen, I want you to ask yourself this question: how will I apply? Yes, Mr. Rosto, you have given us so much information about courses. You told us that you need to apply for KUCCPS placement. Maybe you are wondering, how do I apply? Okay, how do you apply? Now, worry not. This is how you do your application. We have what we call school application. School application, and I'm sure majority of you are doing it now. If your school has not started, I'm sure it will be starting very soon. When you talk of school application, this is where you apply for placement through KUCCPS before your KCSE results are out, before you get to receive your results, before you get to sit for your KCSE. You exercise your faith and you apply for placement in your institution of choice, that is the university of choice, and the course of your desire, the course that you want to go and take. You get to exercise your faith and you apply for placement in that university. Okay, and it is done at this level. Right now, the Form 4s, the candidates of 2021, this is the time you are doing it. This is where you apply. And the application is not free. The application is not free. The government or the KUCCPS will charge you 500 Kenya shillings. the government will charge you 500 Kenya shillings for you to do this application. So if your teachers are asking for this money, and maybe you are saying, oh, walimu wetu wanakula do, si do zako wanakula tafadhali. They are just assisting you to apply for placement. Are you together? And this is the beauty. If you apply for placement at this time, okay, and then you sit for your results, and you qualify for your course. Let me give you an example. Just like the John, you remember John who we have used as an example? John who was targeting a B+ in actuarial science. He applies at this point, and after results, he finds that he has qualified. He gets the first opportunity. He gets the first priority for placement. You understand that? He gets the first priority for placement. But if you don't qualify, maybe your target was a B+ like John in our example, but you don't get a B+, you get a B-. Worry not. You don't need to worry. Why don't you need to worry? Because after you get this, after your KCSE is out, all right, what will happen? You'll be given an opportunity to revisit your choices. You'll be given an opportunity to review what you had selected. And that is where you get what we call fast revision. I'm sure you have ever heard through the media, students being told that the fast revision is on. Yes. Why? Because you applied before KCSE, your results are out, and you find that there's need for you to change the choices that you had made. Now, this point, you'll be given the chance. So worry not, you can apply now, and after your KCSE, you'll be given the opportunity, to review your choices. If you review your choices, then you'll pay 1,000 Kenya shillings. You'll pay 1,000 Kenya shillings only, okay, for you to do the review, your review. But now, because of different cases, because of different background, because of different issues that we are experiencing, you might not manage to apply currently, or you might not manage to apply while in school. So what happens? During the first revision, if you did not apply in your school, you'll be allowed to apply, but again, you pay 1,500 Kenya shillings, 1,500. Take note of this. If you don't apply now while in school, okay, after KCSE, you'll be given a chance to apply, but that time you need to pay 1,500 Kenyan shillings. But if you apply now, and after that, after KCSE results are out, there is no need for you to review. There is no need for you to revisit what you had chosen. Then you not need to do a revision. You not need to pay the 1,000 Kenya shillings. So take note, take advantage now. Apply while here in school. Please, my dear students, take advantage of this. Apply while here in school. Okay, you get the first priority of placement. Get the first priority of placement. Good. So much information about KUCCPS, so much information about careers. That one I have shared with you. Now the ball is on your court. My dear student, the ball is on your side. You play the ball in the best way. I have tried to play this ball the best way I can on my side. Now it is your turn to play the ball on your side. Apply, calculate your cutoff points, have your targets in order, identify your careers, do everything that you need to do. In other words, I'm saying be smart as you play your ball. But as you apply, this is what I want you to take note, that you'll be allowed to choose 4 degree courses. Yes, while here in school, you are just about to start applying, or you have started applying. What will be required of you? You'll be required to apply and to select 4 degree courses. These degree courses, this is how you are supposed to do it. You have number 1A, number 1B, number 1C. Yes, it's the first degree. Number 1A, number 1B, number 1C. This degree, it is the same degree, but in different universities in order of priority. Can I repeat that? It is the same degree in different universities, but in order of priority. Let me give you an example. What we mean by that? That it is the same course. You want to go and take Bachelors of Science Nursing, or you want to go Bachelors of Nursing, yeah? Bachelors of Science Nursing. That's what you want to go and take. Or Bachelors of Medicine Nursing. Actually, that is the correct title. Bachelors of Medicine Nursing. That course is your first choice. Yes, you have so many others, but your first choice is Bachelors of Science Nursing. Yes, it is Bachelors of Science Nursing. In which universities? You can do it in Kenyatta University. You can do it in Mount Kenya University. You can do it in which other university? Nairobi University, the University of Nairobi. Can I repeat that? It is the same course, Bachelors of Science, Medicine Nursing, Kenyatta University, Mount Kenya University, and University of Nairobi. Out of the 3 universities, which is the first university you'd like to go to? Is it KU? Is it Mount Kenya? Is it the University of Nairobi? So you take it as your option 1A. Did I say option? Hey, forgive me. Hey, yeah. At least you've got something to smile me for. Hey, I meant option, not option. All right. So you have taken Bachelors of Medicine, Nursing. All right. Yes, it's your first choice. In which university you want to go to? The first university of choice is the University of Nairobi. So it is Bachelors of Science Medicine. Bachelors of Medicine Nursing at University of Nairobi. You feel that one as your option 1A. If not that, which is the second university? Maybe MKU. So you take the same course, but now as 1B in the second university, MKU. And definitely KU, Kenyatta University, will take the last option. Hello, I hope that one is clear. That for the first course, 1A, 1B, 1C, the same course, different university. Are we together? Then you'll have option 2, option 3, option 4. That is the second course. That's number 2. That course, number 3. Fourth course, number 4. All these are different courses in different universities. Take note of that. Different courses, different universities. So it's only for option 1A where you have those restrictions that for the 1A, 1B, 1C, it is the same course. It is the same course, but in different universities. In different universities, in order of priority. In order of priorities. Your teachers will be guiding you more on this because what you feel, it is not the course titles, not the university names, it is what we call the program codes. So I'm sure your teachers will guide you more on this one. But I would like you to take note of this. For these 4 degree courses, 1A, 1B, 1C, 2, 3, 4, all these are in order of priority. In order of priority. So 1A means it is which course, your course number 1, are you together? In your university choice number 1. 1B, it is course number 1 in your university choice number 2. 1C, it is your course number 1 in your university choice number 3. Number 2 is the second course, but in your university choice number 3. Are you together? Actually, it's number 3, sorry, okay? Number 3 is the third course, but in your university choice number 5, okay? And now, number 4 is your university course, okay? But in what number of university? In your university choice number, good, there you have it, 6, all right? All those in order of priorities. I am sure your teachers will be guiding you more on this one, all right? So in case you are not getting my language, you are not getting clearly what I mean, worry not. I'm sure your teachers will help you be able to identify, to be able to tell what I'm saying. That number 1A, 1B, 1C, it is the same course, but in 3 different universities in order of priority. Number 2, 3, and 4, they are different courses in different universities. Right, together. Then on top of that, you'll also be required to choose 4 diploma courses and 4 artisan courses, or what we call certificate courses. So in total, you'll have 12 different courses in your disposal or on your disposal. I hope that one is clear, isn't it? This is my advice. You can take it, you can leave it, all right? Dear students, and also teachers with us here. This is my advice. This is what I advise you. You have your option of degree courses. For example, let me give you an example. You want to go take nursing at degree. That's your first choice. Nursing is your first choice. If not nursing, maybe education. Education is your second choice. If not education, that's being a teacher, you want to go do veterinary medicine, maybe. I'm just picking courses at random. So your first course is nursing. That's the first course you want to go do. If not nursing, you want to go do teaching. If not teaching, you want to go do veterinary medicine. And maybe if not veterinary medicine, you want to go take which course? Finance. I've just picked at random. The first one is nursing. The second one is education. The third one is, the third one is veterinary medicine. The fourth one is finance. So those are your 4 choices at the degree level. Remember, you are selecting these courses through your careers. So you want to either become a nurse. If not a nurse, you want to become a teacher. If not a teacher, you want to become a veterinary. If not a veterinary, maybe then you want to become a finance officer, an accountant, maybe. You get me, right? Okay. So you select these 4 courses at your degree level, isn't it? If it's your career that is compelling you to select these courses, if it is your career that is compelling you to select these 3 courses, then choose the same courses at the diploma level. Select the same courses at the diploma level. Diploma in nursing, diploma in education, that is teaching, diploma in veterinary science, diploma in finance. Why that? So that you maximize your chances of getting to your career. I hope you are getting me right. That at your degree level, your career, you want to become either, if not a nurse, a teacher. If not a teacher, a veterinary officer. If not a veterinary officer, an accountant. So you select those courses related to your career at the degree level. Select the same courses at the diploma level. Are you together? Select the same courses at the diploma level. Why? If you don't get a grade that will get you to the university, you'll get a grade that will post you to a diploma. So if you are posted at a diploma, are you together? Yes, it will be a diploma in level of education, but again in your career. So if you wanted to become a teacher, you don't get a grade that posts you to education, all right? But that posts you to education at the degree level. Then you still be in education to become a teacher, but now you start at diploma level. Why? The beauty of it is you can start at certificate level, then go to diploma, then go to at a graduate degree, then go to graduate degree, then go to master's, PhD, all that. The level of education here will not matter. What will matter is, are you still in line with your career? So my dear students, you can take that one. That's what I said. You may drop it. It's not a must you take my advice, but I advise you that if you are so compelled to your career, the courses that you select at degree level be the same courses that you select at diploma level. And if possible, again, be the same courses that you select at artisan level. That one I'm done. There's somebody who has posted a question. How will you know that you have been placed in a course? That is one thing that I'll be answering towards the end. That anytime the government, the moment you apply, right, together, you are at liberty to go to the website of KUCCPS, www.kuccps.ac.ke. They have 3 types of portals. They have the institution portal, they have the principal's portal, and they have the student portal. So you can log in into your portal, the student portal, right, together, through your KCSE index number or birth certificate, and the password that you have been given. The default password is your KCSE index number or birth certificate, or I mean KCP. The default password is KCPE index number or birth certificate. The moment you log into that portal, then you are able to tell where you are placed. Nowadays, they are even sending you text message. During your application, you'll hear your teachers telling you to provide phone numbers. And again, they'll tell you provide at least 2. Okay, yes, provide those phone numbers because that is where messages will be sent to. I always recommend and advise students, have one of your phone numbers and that one that you are so sure, maybe could that one be of your parent or guardian or relative, that you are so sure it will not change in the next 1 year. Maybe you are sure that after high school, nitabadilisha, nitafute nyingine. But that one of your parent could be, it could not change, maybe. Isn't it? Use that one. Don't use your 2 phone numbers. Use that one of yours. Then the other one that you are so convinced that it will not change. Why? Because they will send you text message via those phone numbers, and you'll be able to tell that you have been placed where. All right. That is after KCSE is out. Okay. I hope I have answered your question. Else, just go to www.kuccps.ac.ke, log into the student portal. Okay. Then you'll be able. Otherwise, after you are done with your high school, I have told you, I'm always ready to help you people. I'll be having a session. I always have a session on application of courses after you are done. So you can keep posted via my social media platform for you to be able to tell when to start looking whether you have been placed or not and what to consider during the first division and all that information. You can as well book a session online via my website, www.arostob.ac.ke. Okay, and I mean .co.ke, www.arostob.co.ke, and I'll be able to guide you through. Good. So much information about KUCCPS again, all right? About application. Again, I say the ball is on your court. What are you going to do with this information? It all depends on you. I'll have played the ball on my side. Teachers will have played the ball on your side. Now the ball is on your side. How will you play this ball? Now, to sum this one off, I want to tell you this, my dear student. I'm summing up, I'm adding this, that you got the potential. As you sit there from Narumol Girls, from M-Pesa Foundation, I have seen M-Pesa Foundation in the house, hi, from Nkwena Girls, from wherever you are listening me from, I want to call upon you and tell you this, that my dear student, you got the potential. You are able, it is possible you go for that course that you have always dreamt for. It's possible to become that person you have always aspired to be. You got what it takes. You've got the power within you to become that great person. You've got all what it takes for you to actualize your dream. So let nobody tell you that it is not possible. Let nobody tell you that you can't make it. I want to tell you, get this and get this from me. Hear and hear me good, that it is possible. Yes, you can. To do a quick way. I told you that I normally have a program for the Form 4s for finishing strong. I just want to get something from that program, what we call the SWOT analysis. This is one of the tools that you students, you need to embrace. At this point in time when you are busy preparing for your KCSE exam, okay, it's a time that the majority of the students get a lot of confusion. It's the time that the students really feel a lot of confusion in them. They don't know what direction to take, what to do and what not to do. Then I want to give you a very simple tool that you can use for you to be able to identify where you are. In other words, you may call it a GPS. Are you together? Call it a GPS. I call it the SWOT analysis. Our teachers knows about this. S for strengths, W for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and T for the threats. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? What are your threats? At this point in time, I want you to do the first thing. Identify what you are strong at. And in this case, in matters academics, you are just about to go sit for your exam. You are just about to go and write your national exam, your final high school exam. Which is that subject that you know you are strong at? Which is that subject that you know, whatever can me, this subject is what I call the booster subject. It is the subject that I know it is going to help you perform, and not only perform, but perform best. Somebody's mic is on. Somebody, please help me switch off that mic. Thank you. All right. So get to identify which is that strong subject. It could be one subject, they could be two, they could be three, they could be four, they could be five, they could be all of them. The better for you. So identify your strong subjects. At this point in time, when you are preparing for your exam, write down that mathematics is my strong subject. Chemistry is my booster subject. Biology is my booster subject. IRE is my booster subject. That you've got a booster subject as you sit here. Then after you identify your booster subject, the next thing that I want you to do is to identify your weak subjects. Yes, I know maybe some of our teachers have told us that let us not speak of weakness in subject, but speak of the language of challenging. Yes, I want to speak the same language. I want to join hands with them and say that identify your challenging subject. That's the weak subject you are at. It could be Kiswahili. It could be mathematics. It could be history. Who knows? Identify your weak subject. That it is not weak as per se, but it's a subject that is challenging. It's a subject that challenges you. That seated where you are seated listening to a roast this one afternoon, you know that this subject is the subject that gives me ahead of time. It gives me sleepless night. Again, it could be one, they could be two, they could be three, they could be four. If you find that they are four, oh, my dear students, things are not very okay. Things are not very okay. But if you find there are three, or there are two, or there is one, or there is none, you are good. All right? Identify your weak subject. So, number one, identify your booster subject, what we call the strong subject. Okay? The strength, that is your strength. Are we together? Number two, identify your challenging subject. That's your weakness. Okay? Number three, identify the opportunities that you have. As you sit from Narumor girls, as you sit from Magarini girls, as you sit from wherever school you are in, what opportunities do you have around you? Some of the schools that we are in are boarding schools. You know, we have the freedom to study maybe late in the night up to around 10 p.m. to others 11 p.m. We are at liberty to wake up early. You know, you understand what I mean? As early as 4, and teachers will not punish you. Teachers will not ask you. Okay? You are at liberty to be in school on weekends like today. You have teachers around you that you can go ask questions. These are the opportunities. What opportunities do you have? You are at liberty to form group discussion. That's an opportunity. You understand what I mean? What opportunities do you have at this specific time? Because what I want you to remember is that it is our life that we are putting in order. It is our life that we are preparing for. So we have to take advantage of everything. So what are the opportunities around you? Maybe doing exams, maybe doing exams severally and giving them to your teachers for marking, doing quizzes and calling teachers to class to revisit. Maybe it's an opportunity for you. Being in school at this time, being in school on a weekend, from every day, 24 hours in a day, you're in that school. It's an opportunity for you. Maybe you are from a day school, maybe. Are you together? But you are at liberty, maybe when you go home, okay, you have a study room back at your home. You have a study room. That's an opportunity for you. What are the opportunities that you have? And then number 4, and the last thing, what can make you not achieve? The threats, the possible obstacles, the things that can hinder you as a student not to get your target. As you sit here, you have a target of a B+, of a C+, of an A-, of an A, of a C plane, whatever the target is. as you sit here listening to a roast this word of afternoon, what is it that can make you not hit your target? That's your threat. Maybe allow me to use the language that you understand. Kazi yako ni kuchachisha. Wewe ni mtu wa kuchachisha. You understand what I mean? Hiyo kuchachisha yako, don't you think it can hinder you from achieving your target? Maybe it's being talkative, you know, in class, noise makers, maybe talking too much. Maybe it's a threat to you, maybe. You know, maybe, allow me to use, with all due respect to my colleague teachers in the house, allow me to use these teachers. Maybe kazi yako mumeambatana na triomio. You know what triomio says? Kazi yako ni kusema, you know what? Maisha ni yangu. We shughulika na yako. Hutaki tukupage. Unasema sipagwigwi. Maybe that character that you have is the character of the don't care character. You know, you don't care what the hell the teacher says we do. I don't care. If the teacher punishes me, I don't care. That's the DC character. That character, don't you see, is a possible threat? You understand what I mean? What is that can create the obstacles that you have? What is it that can hinder you from achieving your targets? That's what we mean. Okay? And at that point, I call upon you. So unfortunate, and allow me to refer to this case. I don't know whether it happened in your school, but in the past year, so many schools, so many students burnt their dorms. So many students. Others boycotted because of food. I visited one of the schools, actually it is this week, and I asked them why. They told me it's because of food. The food was too little. We eat githeri too much. It's okay. Let me ask you. You are indisciplined character, you know, you are indisciplined character. Don't you think it's a threat to your goals? It's a threat to your targets. It will make you not achieve. Get to identify your threats. Then sit back. Look at what you have in that list. You've got your strengths. You've got your weaknesses. You've got your opportunities. You've got your threats. What do you need to do? By that one, now you'll be able to tell how much you need to put into what. For example, if you identify that mathematics is challenging, it tells you what you need to do. If you identify that chemistry is your booster subject, it tells you what to do. So what do you do? I can see questions coming in. I'll be answering your question in a while. Allow me to complete this, please. What you need to do is to increase your chances of winning. After you identify from the SWOT analysis, after you identify your strength, your weakness, your opportunities, and your threats, what you are left to do, you good students who are listening to me this word of afternoon, is to increase your chances. Increase your chances of winning. And I want you to learn from the graphic that is displaying on your screen. If you start from your left, where you have the start, I want you to take note of this. It's not by accident I have the green color there. And it's not by accident that I have that part very narrow. Let me explain this. That during the start, and you agree with me, during the start, life was not very pleasant. There's not really so much that was giving you strength. There's very little that was there for you to do. And there was not much. And because of that, okay, you only had maybe when you're in Form 1, maybe when you're in Form 2, maybe when you are in Form 3, okay? More so when you're in Form 1 and when you're in Form 2. There's very little. You only had one book to revise on. Very little, just one notebook to revise on. Okay, just a few mathematics formulas that you needed to revise. So life was not challenging. That's why you have the green. The green there indicates that there was very little that you required to do. All right, very little that you required to do. There was no pressure. The green represents the pressure as well. There was no pressure. But now, for you to be crowned as the winner, look at where we have the winner. For you to be crowned the winner, there's so much that you need to handle, and there's a lot of pressure that you need to handle as well. There's so much pressure that you need to handle, and there's so much that you need to undertake. But regardless of where we are, that is where the winner is. The winner is where there's so much to handle, there's so much pressure to handle. That's where you are. You as the candidate of the 2021, as the candidate of the 2022, you are sitting for your exam in December. This is where you are, that you have to get ready. Okay, to increase your chances of winning, you've got to be ready to handle what you have to handle. The much workload that you have to revise, are you together? The many books you have to peruse through, the much pressure that teachers will put, maybe the school will put, maybe the teachers will put, the parents will put, maybe you must be ready for that. Not until then that you shall win. So you must increase the chances of winning. And because I don't want to speak much, how do you increase the chances of winning? Point number one, focus on your strengths. My dear student, you only become winner when you focus on what you know that you can easily conquer. The positivity in the mind will be created by what is giving you confidence. Can I repeat that? That the positivity in your brains will only be created by knowing there's something that is giving you confidence. That I have a subject, regardless of the challenges I have in education, regardless of the grades, the stream of this I have been posting in my line of education, I have a grade, I have a subject that will boost me. I have got a mathematics that will boost me and get me out of a knee. I have an English that will boost me, put me out of a C plane. I have a chemistry that will boost me further and take me to a B+. Focus on your strengths. And when I say on focusing on your strength, I don't mean that day in, day out is the same subject. That's not what I mean, all right? What I mean is don't look so much on the challenging subjects, okay? As you keep saying, do you mean me? Siwezi perform chemistry in Anifinya, I can, no. Speak positivity and say, I'll make it because I know subject mathematics is waiting for me. It will boost me. I know I'll make it because geography is a subject that will boost me. I know Islamic is a subject that will boost me. That's what the focus I'm talking about. Point number two, grasp the opportunities. Grasp the opportunities. You know that you are at liberty to form group discussions in your school. All right? You are at liberty to go for group discussion at 9 p.m. It's an opportunity for you. Make use of that. Go for that opportunity. Run with that opportunity. That you've got teachers wicked in your school who are ready, who are willing to assist you, tackle a question in mathematics, tackle a question in English, study extra. Go for that. Go for that teacher. It's an opportunity, a rare opportunity indeed. That you're in a school where you can wake up at 4 a.m. and go to class. My friend, it's an opportunity. There are so many students. Last week, Batuan, allow me to give an example. Allow me. Last week, Batuan was in a school called Kcse High School. And in this school, Kcse High School, I was interacting with some of the students. It is a day school. One of the students told me that she always aspired to go to a boarding school. And I asked her why. She told me that I wanted to go to a school where I could wake up early because I'm an early bird and go to class and study. But now I'm in a day school. Okay? As much as I try, if I happen to wake up early back at home, my mama asikie nimeamka. The next thing I know, ni kuambiwa ni wewe utakamua. So chances zangu na kusoma hatuna. But you as a student, maybe in a boarding school, you can wake up at 4 a.m. Hakuna kukamua. You are going to class. That's an opportunity for you. That you've got a teacher who is afraid maybe that, you know, if you do this quiz and take it this to him or her, she is going to mark, he's going to mark and correct you. It's an opportunity. You know, you understand what I mean? Grasp those opportunities. When your teacher calls you to class on Sunday afternoon, when you are supposed to be going out there for Duda, maybe if that's what you do, okay? You take it as an opportunity that this teacher wants us to cover more, want us to revise more. It's knowledge being added into my basket. That it is not wastage of time. Grasp the opportunities that you could be having. Next thing that you need to do, avoid the threats. You have focused on your strength, you have grasped your opportunities. My dear student, my dear friend, avoid threats. When I look around, for example, if I look at, allow me to pick a school at random, when I look at Lamu Girls, okay, Lamu Girls I can see, but when I look at Narumoru Girls, I can see some of the students with a mask. covering their noses and their mouths. It's quite okay. It's okay. Quite okay. Don't put it down. Okay. I know also Magarini, I see a few students there. I hope I could see Nikwena and other schools. Why are you covering at this specific time? Why are you covering the mouth and the nose? It's simply because you are reducing, you are avoiding the threat of COVID. I can tell you don't want, you are reducing the opportunities of getting this virus. That's why you are covering your mouth and your nose, isn't it? So you are avoiding the threat of the virus. It is the same way you are avoiding the threat of COVID-19 that you should avoid any other threat that will make you not succeed, that will make you be sent out of school, that will make you not go for your targets. That is how you should avoid that threat. This is the time to do that. Let me tell you, my dear students, the same way you are avoiding the threat of COVID, it's the same energy and even more that you should put to avoid anything that will make you not achieve your targets. Get to your goals. Avoid threats like COVID-19. For now, unaweza acha kuchachisha kidogo tu, wacha kuchachisha ikae kado, ni sawa? You come to it, you resume to it. For now, you focus on your grades. You focus on making your life better. This is what I said. You are working on your life. It is your responsibility. Then as you avoid your threats, because of time, allow me to move faster. Work on your weaknesses. Work on your weaknesses. And for you to be able to work on your weaknesses, again, I will pull an example from the first point, that is focusing on your strength. Yes, I understand that biology could be one of the difficult subjects, is one of the challenging subjects that you have, but in that subject of biology, there is one unit that you understand well. There is one topic that you understand well. There is an area that you understand so well. Maybe you have an issue with writing essays in biology, but you know the 2-3 marks question is a question that you should not put complaint. I mean, into question, it's a question that you can easily score. When it calls for you remembering all the different joints in your head, in your skull, in your body, you can recall them so easily. So a question on joint comes, you are so sure that one is a point for me. Focusing on your threats inside your weaknesses. That's what I mean. You understand that this is your weakness. Inside your weakness, in there is an opportunity. There is a focus. There is a strength. There is a strong area that you are at. Focus on that as you try to expand on your strong areas within your weaknesses. I want to give you a good example. All right? You forgive me because I am a man of examples. When Leader-in-Chief operation was launched back in 2010, when majority of you are not born, that is the operation Leader-in-Chief. That is when the army, the Kenyan army, was sent to, to Somalia to assist in peacekeeping. This is what happened. When the Kenyan army was sent to Somalia, they did not just go and start fighting. Are you together? They did not just go and start fighting. What they did, they sat down and established, what are we strong at? Because these people, yes, they are there. Are we together? But what is it that you are strong at? They identified that they are strong at equipment, that our equipments, they are so stronger than their equipment, so we can easily defeat them. But even if we have strong equipment, what do? We get it into the center of where they are living. Identify where they are living, get at the center and maximize. That's what we mean. My dear students, as time is ending, work on your weakness at this time. I know it's the time that we are really looking forward to achieve. It's the time that we are really looking forward to make it. Work on your weaknesses. Try as much as possible to work on your weaknesses to make it. All right? So after you do the SWOT analysis, point number 1, focus on your strength. Point number 2, grasp your opportunities. Point number 3, avoid your threats. Point number 4, and the last one, work on your threats. Then as you do that, I want to say this to you, that there's nothing great that has ever been accomplished in this earth without sacrifice. That if at all you want to succeed, you have to be ready to pay the price. You have to be ready to sacrifice. There's nothing, entirely nothing that has ever been achieved without sacrifice. Allow me, the Muslims in the house, allow me to pull an example from the Bible, for I am a Christian, okay? But I hope it is okay with you, right? This is it. In the Bible, I like one verse, John 3:16, where we are told that for God so loved the world that he got his only begotten son. Take note of this, his only begotten son. He was sent here on earth to come and rescue us. From the scientific point of view, from the scientific point of checking at that, you realize that God sacrificed his son. If at all God himself sacrificed his son for his people, then who are you not to sacrifice? Who am I not to sacrifice? You got to pay the sacrifice. You got to pay the price if at all you want to win. Waking up early at 4 a.m. is paying the sacrifice. It's sacrificing, it's paying the price for you to win. Going to bed late at night is paying the price. Going to class on weekend, it's paying the price. It's sacrificing for you to win. Be ready to pay your sacrifice if you want to succeed. Take that from me. Take it to the nearest bank. If possible, convert it to Kenyan currency and enjoy your vacation, maybe. That there's nothing that will come your way without sacrifice. I want you to follow this. Back in the year 2019, one of our greatest Kenyan patriots said this to us, cogito ergo sum. What that means is that I can be what I think. That's what it means, right? Cogito ergo sum. You know this man? I'm sure you can almost tell who it is. Yes, you are right. Eliud Kipchoge. Eliud Kipchoge, when he was preparing for the Ineos 159 challenge, which he won, he said, cogito ergo sum. He said that, yes, I can make it. Yes, I can become the first marathoner to break marathon, run marathon under 2 hours. And for that reason, he said, no human is limited. No human is limited. That's what Eliud Kipchoge had to say. And when he won, when he broke the world marathon, 159 Ineos challenge, when he was asked, this is what he had to say. I hope that you get the audio on your side to get to know what Eliud got to say. If you don't have enough audio, maybe you can follow the writings. I have tried to do that. Take a look. Listen to what Eliud had to say.
And I want to say, actually, all what I have done is due to some factors. As I am saying always, in order for you to be successful, you need to consider some factors. One is self-discipline. Secondly is very well preparation. Thirdly is you should be well organized. Fourthly is you should think positive. Fifth is actually working with people. Let me start with self-discipline. I can say self-discipline starts with you. It's not the other person. It starts with you. Start to examine yourself. So self-discipline means it's doing what's right rather than doing what you feel like doing. That's the meaning of self-discipline. Self-discipline can help you to actually get three things. It can save your feelings, get you on back on the course. When you try to think otherwise, then when you are self-disciplined, you can easily come back and think positively. It helps you to actually do the right thing in the moment for long-term benefits. How can you cultivate this self-discipline? One is that you should stick to your priorities. Secondly is that don't make excuses. When you have decided to do something, do it. No excuses, then you are self-disciplined. Thirdly is that learn to say no, and that's fine. Fourthly is that you make discipline your lifestyle. Discipline is not one-time event. Self-discipline is like building your muscle. It's like going to the gym. You cannot go to the gym today and build your muscle. You should get a program and go slowly by slowly. That's the way to build your muscle. That's the way you can harn and cultivate your self-discipline. Remember, only the disciplined ones are free in life. I repeat again. Only the disciplined ones are free in life. If you are in discipline, you are a slave to your moods. You are a slave to your passions. That's a fact. The best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago. That was the best time to plant a tree. Today is 30th. It's the best time for you to plant a tree of self-discipline.
And there you are, dear students. You've got the information now with you. That today,
I want to say,
today is the best time to start exercising self-discipline. For self-discipline will not, for sacrifice will not work where you don't have self-discipline. My dear students, I have shared with you so much information. I've shared with you so much information about your courses, about your careers, and I hope that that message is gotten. But as I sum it up, I want to tell you, just as I started by telling you, that my life is my responsibility. Your life is your responsibility. It is not anybody else's responsibility. If you have to go for that grade that you have always looked forward for, if you have to achieve your target of a B+, of an A, of a C+, and so on and so forth, if you have to go for that career that you are looking forward to get into, if you have to go to that university that you are looking forward to join, then if it must be, it's up to me. Then you can take note of that, that if this one has to be, it is up to you. That if you are to actualize the grade that you have put aside, that you have targeted, then if it has to be, it is up to you. The student at Nkune Girls, the student at Magaini Girls, the student at Lamu Girls, the student at Lamu Girls, the student at Mepesa Foundation, and so on and so forth. If it has to be, if that grade is to be, then it is up to me. And I want to say that with a lot of affirmation, with a lot of conviction, that it is up to you to make that grade become and be a reality. It is up to you to get that university. It is up to you to go do that course. It is up to you. It is not anybody else's responsibility. It is up to you. It is up to you. And as I add again, I'll pull a few examples, one more example. Back in the year 2008, one of our very own that we are proud of, Barack Hussein Obama, he was asked, what makes you vie for presidency of the States? And you are not a white, you are not born here, you are a black person, you are a black guy. He said this, that it is not my color that is ruling, it is not where I'm born that is ruling, it is who I am and what is in me that is guiding me. And he said that in me, there's a lot of conviction, there's a lot of power that makes me believe that yes, I can. And if I can, yes, as we can. That's where he got his slogan from. He said that yes, I can. For before he said yes, we can. I want you to the same way, my dear student, as you go for this Kcse exam, to believe with a lot of conviction that this is my life, this is my responsibility. I have to make it. It is to be because, yes, I can. that you are going for this one because yes, you can. Nothing less, nothing less. You've got only 2 opportunities in this life, to make it or make it. There's nothing else. That you are going for this grade because you are going to make it. You are going to sit for this exam because you are going to make it. You are selecting this course because you are going to make it. You are selecting this career because you are going to make it. Nothing more, nothing less. Yes, you will make it. Believe that you are going to make it. Believe that you are going to make it. It's my sincere hope that I have been of great help since we started, 3 hours now and a few minutes since we started. My sincere hope is that somebody somewhere listening to me for those 3 hours has either been mentored, inspired, or motivated. I want to answer these 3 quick questions. Okay? All right, sorry. I'm very sorry that somebody, I have just seen your message right now. Somebody said that I give students 30 minutes to come back at 1:30. Sorry, I'm very sorry that I didn't see that. That is somebody from Wamatai, okay? All right, I don't know whether your students have gone. In case they have missed something, I'm free. You can call me back and we can have this, all right? Somebody is asking, can you choose your 2nd, 3rd, or 4th career in the same university or in the university, or the university has to be different? Yes, your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th can be in the same university. They can be the same course in the same university. However, there is a risk if you do that. Why? Because if you don't qualify for that course in that university, okay, if you don't qualify for that course in that university, then you'll not get placement elsewhere. You'll not be considered for placement in other universities, all right? So it's good, well, have the same course but in different university, because again, you see the same course requires different cutoff in different universities. So it's just a way of maximizing your chances, all right? So you can have the same course in the same university, so it's not recommended, all right? Then somebody is asking, okay, I've lost the question. Let me get the question. Please help me retrieve this. There is a question that somebody is asking here. That is it a must you select degree courses or you can just select diploma and certificate courses? Why not? You can always select diploma, degree only, certificate only. However, why don't you exercise? Why don't you exercise your faith? Because you have your target. Well, I don't know what your target is, but we are always told that always aim at the top. In this case, aim at the sun, so that if you don't get to the sun, you land at the moon, okay? So I would advise you to do the same. Aim at the sun, so that if you don't aim at the sun, I don't get at the sun, you land at the moon. Though it's good, as per your question, it's okay, you can. All right. Lam Girls want to give a vote of thanks. Thank you so much, Lam Girls. I'll be giving you that opportunity to do that. Okay, then there's this teacher from Wamatai. I have seen your message. I'll be sending that message direct to you. I'll be sending the message direct to you. Don't you worry, right? That is Wamatai James. Okay, it's okay. I have time. Today I have time. I was all for this. So I'll have the students, if you get me the time. Guide students on how to deal with the challenging subject and emphasize the importance of mathematics. I think, well, I don't know whether I emphasize so much on mathematics, but I would like to tell the students this. I don't know it's from which school again, that mathematics, I started by saying, maybe you missed this, and I told you this, that there's nowhere in this world that maths doesn't apply. I started by showing you the career compass. The subject at the core is mathematics. The subject at the core is mathematics. I gave you, and I showed you something here, that if you want to study education, if you want to become a teacher of history CRE, you require at least, the word is at least D+ in mathematics. A history CRE, and might be asking, History na CRE na hesabu zinaingia na wapi, but that's it. So mathematics, I cannot even insist further because mathematics is one of the key subjects. Mathematics is one of the key subjects. Once this manual gets to you, I hope they will, go through all those courses. One thing that you realize is that mathematics is a mandatory course. It's a mandatory subject in most courses. And where they don't ask for mathematics, they ask for physics. There's a lot of relation between maths and physics, right? So where they don't need maths, they need physics. You understand? So what does that tell you? That you have no option other than to perform in mathematics. Well, I have something that I have prepared on tips on excelling in maths. Though that one it's one of the things that I discussed in my program. Remember I talked about the Achievers Club, the A Club. I talked about that. I also talked about the program, the ABC. I have something that I discussed about sciences in general, and mathematics is one of them. It's something, if you feel that your students need this, take advantage. Have a session with me, book a session with me online, okay? Some of them I don't charge, honestly speaking, okay? Take advantage. For you who is here, if you feel that your student requires this with me, I'll not charge you. I'll do absolutely free between today and tomorrow, by the way. Today and tomorrow, okay? Between today and tomorrow, I'll not charge. I'll have my time with them. I'll discuss with them with that. But this is it, my dear students, that you have no option other than to excel in maths. But because right now you may be feeling that you don't have time in maths to do so much in your challenging subject, all I can call upon and tell you is focus on your strong. Focus on your strengths. Don't mind so much about weaknesses. As much as I'm saying work on your weaknesses. Yes, don't think so much about them, because the more you think about your weaknesses, the more negativity you drill in your brains. The more you think about your strengths, the more you think about your strong areas, the more positivity you drill in your head. So the more you think about your strength, the more you get positivity in your brains. The more you think of negativity, the more you think of, the more you think of weaknesses, the more you get negativity in your brain. So focus on your strengths. I hope I have emphasized that. The teacher from Narumor Girls, I realized that your students left quite ago. Again, I say this, I'm very sorry that I interfered with your program, but if you find that you need me to repeat something that I have said, okay, I've prepared. Again, you have between today and tomorrow to book an online free session. I will not charge, and we shall do this to complete on what maybe they missed or something else that you might think we need to discuss. Else, I have nothing else left on my site. The only thing that is left is only me to send you the resources via the email, which I know my team will send. I want to give this chance to Lamu Girls to give a vote of thanks. Lamu Girls, prepare yourself so that I give you the chance to give the vote of thanks as you have requested. As you prepare, Lamu Girls, to the teachers, I'm always available for any of my programs. I'm available to come and do it with your students. Either now they are preparing for their KCSE, or those who are next term, Form 3s, preparing for their KCSE 2022, 2023, or 2024. You can always get in touch with me, and I really appreciate it. It has been an honor serving your students. It has been an honor that you have listened to me for those 3 hours. I really feel honored, and I pray that my good Lord, who blesses me and who listens to me at all times, may he always bless you, and may your student always excel. Lamu Girls, the floor is yours.
Good afternoon, Mr. Arosto Ben.
Afternoon to you.
The last 3 hours have been the last 3 hours has been a success for us. Thank you for enlightening about the careers, and you have not only enlightened us about the careers, and your source analysis has also meant something for us. We appreciate for all you have said to us, and you promise to put into practice what you've said to us. Let us all say thank you to him.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lamu Girls. I hope it's the same to all other students who are on board. Maybe any other student who had a question or wanted to say something, you can unmute and just say whatever it is, even if it's a question, I would really appreciate. Well, thank you. Silence means you are contented. Thank you so much for your time. May the good Lord be with you. Have yourself a good time.
Excuse me, please.
Magarini has a something.
Yes, please. Magarini, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Donald. I have a question. Is it must for someone who wants to do catering to do a science? Is it must yani mtu kama anataka kufanya catering kwenye all sciences?
Okay, kama unataka kufanya catering, I have not gotten the other part.
Ni lazima ufanye sciences. On sciences.
A good question. Is it a must for you to take home science for you to do catering? That's your question.
Yes.
And my answer is no, it's not a must for you to take home science for you to take catering. Just like if you want to take computers to be a teacher of computer studies, it's not a must for you to have studied computers in high school. Okay, so it's the same. It's not a must. You can start after.
Okay, thank you. Madam, thank you.
Excuse me, the other question from Magarini, guys.
Thank you for this excellent open to give us. Of course, we have really enjoyed. I have a question for you. You have told us that we have to focus on our strength subjects. And we don't have to focus much on our subjects. But again, you have talked about math there. You have said math is the key and the key subject you have to have. What if I work on this my subject and I score of them A, and I have my E here? Don't you think that's impossible?
Well, there's a lot of echo from your side. I have not gotten you clearly. Come up again, please.
Made a voice statement there saying, because of time, we have to focus on our strengths and we don't have to put much effort on our weak subjects. The one who's talking here has a lot of, I have my weakness on mathematics. And if I put more strength on the other subjects, then I score all of them plain A's and I have to achieve the mathematics. Don't you think it will put me out of it? I'm not going to have a nice that want to say math is a key subject.
Well, I'm still straining to try and get your question, but allow me to tell you what I've gotten, then tell you the parts that I've missed. Nabwana, I've gotten your parts. Thank you so much for the remarks. But now you are asking that if you score all A's in all subjects, right?
Yes.
What happens after you score the all A's?
Oh, you have scored all, I have scored all the A's, but then I have an E in mathematics.
You score A in 6 subjects, but in mathematics, your 7th subject, you score an E.
Yes.
Don't
you think it will cost me when it comes to choosing courses of my career?
Definitely it's going to cost you. That's your question. You're asking, don't I think it is going to cost you, right?
Yes.
Yes, and this is why I said that mathematics is key. If you listen to me clearly, I told you that mathematics is at the center. But it's a subject that you need to, it's a subject that you really need to focus on. Because if you score all other subjects, you score an A. But in that specific subject, which is mathematics, you score an E, then it is going to cost you definitely. It's going to cost you, and you may not get to your target. And that's why I said work on your weaknesses. Even if right now it's not possible for you to all at once, boom. You know, what I mean by that is that jump from an E to an A, at this time as the form for you, it's not work for you. You need to improve a little bit, at least get your grade somewhere. And when I say somewhere, I mean anything above D+. Anything above D+ is the best grade for you, all right, for you to be safe in mathematics. So I did not mean that you only, what do I mean? You don't focus on where you are failing. That's not what I meant. What I meant is work on your weaknesses. And if you get me, get into your weakness, identify your weak area, right, together, but inside your weak area, focus on your strength. And this is why I give examples with biology. Let me give a good example with mathematics. If you take a subject in mathematics, I know it has paper 1 and it has paper 2, but regardless of the paper, there are always some topics that are always mostly tested. Maybe a topic in logarithms, are you together? A topic on logarithms is one of the topics that is normally tested. Another topic is on integers that is normally tested. So here you are. You may get into the subject mathematics, which is your challenging subject, but in that subject, you have a topic logarithm that you are strong at, knowing that a 4-mark question on mathematics, on logarithm, is a question that I will easily score. A 4-mark question in trigonometry is a question that I will easily score. A 4-mark question on maybe any other area is a question that you easily score. That's what I meant, that you first focus on your strength inside your weakness. Then slowly by slowly maximize that. I can not only focus on logarithm, I can also take a subject like integers, okay? So sure to be that I take a topic in integers and I can score easily, all right? I can take a topic in maybe quadratics, again, I can easily score. That's what I mean, all right? That you slowly by slowly maximize your focus, your strength inside your weakness. You understand what I mean? Because if you don't do anything about it, then definitely it's going to cost you. I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, thanks for clarification.
Well, thank you. Welcome. So all other schools, you are liberty to leave because the webinar is off. I'm only waiting for Narumor girls. The teacher has requested that I do a summary of this, the same summary I've done with you because the students were out. So you are at liberty to go for your lunch. Then as I also get a cup of water as I wait for Narumor girls to come back.